Next up, Belmont Park Live. This was about what admission office looked like early on in his debut. Then he would circle the field going from last to first. What will he do for an encore? Ilios Milos' debut was almost an exact replica of admissions office. He went from last to first as well with a wide sweeping move. He looks to start his career 2 for 2. And Get Jets, he's back after nearly being retired and set to stud. The multiple stakes winner instead has shown new life in the morning, but will he be the same in the afternoon? We're going to find that out and more, all coming up on this Thursday edition of Belmont Park Live. It's brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm, 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Great to have you with us on a beautiful afternoon here in Elmont, New York. Sun is shining, blue skies, and we have the late pick 4 coming up. Greg Wolf alongside former L.A. Dodger, New York Met, Paul Duca, Andy Serling from the New York Racing Association, handicapper here. And Get Jets, neat to see this horse back. Anthony Dutrow thought this horse was going to be sent off to stud. He didn't want to work in the morning anymore. All of a sudden started to show new life, and here he is back, and he's a very good horse when right.
Well, hey, listen, you're a good horse when you've won 6 out of 12. Lifetime, you got $500,000 in the bank. I mean, Wolfie hit everything on the head. Now you just got to wonder whether this son of Scat Daddy wants to be back on the race course.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a horse at short price that was retired 2 months ago. Excuse me. I hope he comes back well. Tony's a very good trainer, but I'm skeptical, and this is not an easy field.
Well, Tony Dutrow has said he's 100% in every aspect of what he was before, except obviously fitness. This will be his first start back since early November of his 4-year-old campaign. His 5-year-old debut now coming up. When we last saw him on a racetrack, he was 1 length behind a horse who would go on to win the Grade 1 Manhattan.
Yeah, Spring Quality, who came on to win from the 13 post. And you can argue that maybe some of his best races are 1 turn or lesser turns, lesser. This one's only going a mile, so this horse is coming back and should be fit enough. Again, not an easy field that he's running into.
Not for me.
We will talk much more about it coming up. It's our feature race. That is the 8th on the card and a very intriguing return with Get Jets. Our pick 4, of course, begins in race number 6, mile and an 1/8 on the inner turf. Chad Brown's admission office, sensational, and we'll show you that debut, which he circled the field in just a little bit. The 7th race, Ilios Milos for Jorge Abreu. He was pretty sensational as well in his first start, sprinting on the dirt. He went from last to first. That 8th race, our feature. Some other real good runners in there, like Black Type for Christophe Clement, Night Prowler for Chad Brown, all going against Get Jets. And we'll close things out, 6 furlongs in the main track in a $20,000 claiming race. Weather and track conditions brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray at Belmont Park. Piranha on Pest, gone. Main track is fast. Turf course, it is firm. And again, perfect weather for our Thursday card here coming up. All right, let's take a look at the field current odds here for race 6 to start off this big 4. Right now, admission office for Chad Brown, 6-5 favorite on the board.
He may be a very talented horse. I'm not going to deny that. And 2 horses that finished a couple lengths behind him just ran respectably in a maiden race earlier today. But he is coming out of a race that had a fast pace that totally fell apart and very much played into his running style. And I don't think this race figures Paul to play the same way.
Yeah, you make a good point there. And you look at Morrison, the 10, as we're going to look at this run. Watch on the complete, I guess, outside. He's sort of lugging in a tiny bit. He's still a little bit green, and I think there's still much more there left, and that's what's the scary part about it here, Wolfie. I mean, you could tell he was leaning in most of the way, and then the jockey couldn't even really do much with him. He's just basically winning in hand.
Well, yeah, I hear you. And listen, it's Chad Brown, who does not have great numbers off of maiden wins in a horse debuts in turf races. I mean, 21% is fine. It's not as high as Chad's percentage overall. Yeah. And the ROI of $1.24 suggests this is not something that's worked very well. And it also means you're talking about horses like admission office that are very heavily bet, and they're not delivering to their odds.
Part of the reason that percentage is low, too, I mean, winning first time out is difficult.
Yeah,
it is.
You got to be a good horse to do it.
Come back and then do it against even better horses.
Yeah, in some ways it's it's almost a bad thing because you're giving up so much experience as you get further along.
I think in general, if you bet against maiden winners in their first starts and they come back, especially at short prices, you're probably better off betting against those horses.
Yes,
Some will
100%.
win, some are very good, and this one may win. We're not saying he can't, but I think there's a lot of reasons to be a little skeptical at least.
The other thing is, like Andy said, it's only a 6-horse field, which might help his kick. But when you get to the 10 Morrison, he looks like the only speed in here.
Get signed up, get started, and play this Pick 4 coming up. You can bet all the live racing that we show you each and every day by going to NYRABets.com. $200 new member sign-up bonus going on now. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage of bet any track, anytime, anywhere. Go to NYRABets.com. Time now to check in with the fourth member of our crew. That is Maggie Wolfendale. It's a Paddock Report brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000. And there is admission office. Maggie?
Yes, and that's exactly who I will be talking about here, guys, as he is your current favorite. Admission Office in his first start, I thought looked a little soft, looked as though he needed a race because he was also just very laid back too. That light bulb hadn't really gone off, at least from what he had shown me here in the paddock. But as I've come to kind of be around these point of entry horses a bit more, that's how they are. They must be pretty laid back until those gates open, even in the mornings, hence why they often don't get bet in the afternoons either. They must not, they must save it all for the afternoon. And honestly, as a trainer, that's really what you want, probably. I will say that having that one race, he's definitely a little bit more fit and defined. Does that mean anything? No, but if it does, it could mean that he actually moves forward off of that debut effort in which he earned a fairly fast speed figure. Obviously, that makes him the best horse in here outside of Morrison, who's run close to that. But I think Admission Office should be tough here from what I see. Moving on to number 1, Have At It, who is second off of a layoff and might be a bit of a price in here. But I just thought that overall, he's way more fit than what he looked like going back to that June 8th effort. He's a big, solid, good-looking son of Kitten's Joy, too. I think there is some ability in there, and I'm hoping that that one race put him where he needs to be here for Christophe Clement. He might be able to make some noise at a bit of a price. Moving on to a horse making his stateside debut. That is the Irish-bred number 5, Pillar Mountain. Will get Lasix for his first start for trainer Todd Pletcher as he comes off of a win back in December on the synthetic. Now, there's really no doubt in my mind that he is a turf horse here overall. The only doubt comes as far as fitness. Now, it is Todd Pletcher, and he can get one very ready, but just thought that this guy, I don't know, maybe just looked a touch soft around the edges. We'll see, though, what he brings to the table here as he goes 1 1/8 miles, which he shouldn't have too much problem with. It's just, as I said, that fitness question that I have with him here, Greg.
7-1. Thank you, Maggie. There's Pillar Mountain for Todd Pletcher. You can play along for free with us today in the Belmont Showdown without risking any of your own money. Visit NYRA.com/showdown. Enter your picks in the online contest. Watch your name climb the leaderboard, and you compete for real prizes. Showdown is available every day of Belmont Park Live, and we'll take a look at that leaderboard near the end of our show. Paul, how you playing the Pick 4?
Well, I'm going to play almost a double in here. Admission Office to 2 horses in the last race because 7 and 8 are 6 and 7 horse fields. So $42 ticket, 6 in here, Admission Office. To the last race, the 2 in the 6. Blind Vision could be the speed in there. Rogue Patriot, obviously with the scratch of Flipped, is going to be the heavy favorite in the last of 2. So it could bookend favorites in here. I'm worried a little bit about Morrison just getting away from this group.
$42 Pick 4 ticket from Paul Aduca. This horse needs to win, though, to get you off on the right foot. Admission Office from last to first in his debut. How will he fare in his first try as he steps up against winners for the first time? We will find out. He's a 7-5 favorite. Our post parade for the first leg of the Pick 4 when we come back.
An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track, Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include multiple graded stakes performer Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, and stakes winners He Hate Me and Sunset Ridge. In the ring, his yearlings have commanded prices up to $220,000. Algorithms, standing at Claiborne Farm. His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live, we're approaching the 9-minute mark to post here in race 6 that kicks off the late Big Four as we take a look at Morrison. He won the outside post for trainer Joe Sharp. He faced a horse named Raging Bull last time out. It was just second in the Manila for Chad Brown.
Yeah, won 2 starts back and then second in the Manila. This was a good race. It really was. And he just got run down, Raging Bull from the outside. I thought he put away the gray and he was battling on. You could see, he could see Raging Bull. The Raging Bull just too much for him. So was Hawkish. Shoke. He's running against some good horses.
I think he's the horse to beat.
Catholic Boy, yeah, he is, because he's the controlling speed in here. That's why.
He's the controlling speed. He only has post 7 now. While the turn comes quickly, he's fast. And the other thing is his career is completely turned around once they've been aggressive with him. He lost to Hawkish. Raging Bull's a grade 1 type quality horse. Just because he lost yesterday, he's very, very, very good. And Morrison's been running well behind him, and he's controlling speed. I think he's the horse to beat.
There's a look at the 7, the man behind the man, Jorge Abreu. He's going to have a nice horse coming up in the next race on dirt, who's very likely going to be favored in that race. This horse, this is start number 3. He won his debut, Gate to Wire at Keeneland on the turf.
And you could argue that he's a horse who could be the thorn in the side of Morrison because he does have some early speed.
Yeah, he does. He actually had a paceless race at Keeneland, but then he came back, and I thought he ran okay last time. He sort of ran evenly around the racetrack, especially off the left. He can improve here. Jorge knows what he's doing with his runner, so you're getting 6-1 on this horse currently.
And how often do we talk about Michael Dubb? He owns the 7 in part. He wins a lot of races.
I'd like to discuss the horse that I like in here, the one Have At It, if that's possible. I think Have At It's a very interesting horse for trainer Christophe Clement. He clearly needed his last start coming off an 8-month layoff. He was wide in that race, and Clement's horses have really been running well. And this horse had good enough form as a 2-year-old that perhaps he can improve as a 3-year-old and be a factor in this race. I think his last race was a prep.
Yeah, there's Christophe Clement talking to Flavien Prat.
I circled right in your form, and listen, for people that know who Flavien Prat is, he can flat out ride 1. Number 2, this son of Kitten's Joy has gotten brutal post positions. Saratoga, the 9-hole, the Kentucky Downs, the 12 out of 12, 11 out of 11 last time. You know, he finally gets a good spot where he can save some ground. You know?
I think he's a very dangerous horse in here.
6-1 on the board right now. He ended his 2-year-old campaign with an impressive win on the turf at Keeneland. And this will be start number 2. He went against Morrison in that comeback effort. Obviously needed that race, and most of the public betting like they're going to see better from Have At It, the 1 horse this afternoon.
Yeah, I think he's just an interesting alternative. It's not an easy field. Both Morrison and Mission Office are good horses. He's going to have to step his game up, but he draws well, and I think he'll run better. And I'd rather take him than a horse like Pillar Mountain, the 5, who's just a total guess who ran 1 race back in December on synthetic in Ireland.
I'm telling you, I am going to buy you a flight to Dundalk and change your opinion about Dundalk.
Really?
Yeah, because you just don't like anything that comes from Dundalk.
No, it's Navan.
Oh, Naven.
Naven is the place where you don't want to bet from.
And Andy
Dundalk,
actually
I
has
have
spent
no-
a lot of time in Naven, so it's
Yeah.
a fair opinion.
Right, exactly. Like I'm a regular there. Paul, maybe you and I should do a little appearance there. What do you think?
Why
We'd be
not?
big there.
Why not?
Yeah.
You guys actually are huge in Naven. There is the
Got to be
four.
huge somewhere, Greg.
This is Warchest. I thought Warchest could improve here, the son of Warfront for Shug McGahee.
I agree with you. You know, here's the question with Warfront. Are we waiting for him to be a good horse? Because Warchest, has he ever shown us necessarily he's a good horse?
Yeah.
He's got a great pedigree. He's not just a Warfront, who's one of the best sires out there, but his dam, I believe his second dam is the great Azari. Wasn't she the dam of Wine Princess? I believe she was.
Really?
Azari?
Azari.
Azari, I mean.
I get her and Rozzy.
Yeah, you're right.
confused,
Her,
but
Azari. Yeah, Azari.
Yeah,
Her,
Azari's second dam. So, oh yeah, the useless information in there. It was good for something for a change, Paul. It helped us out. I agree. When is he going to run his good race, Greg?
You just think from that bar on the right, sometimes he takes a little
does
while, and
Belmont
they
help
get
him?
better. They get better.
Does Belmont help him? Maybe he'll like the sweeping turns with that
Broke his
pedigree?
maiden here in his debut, and then they put him in a stakes race right off the bat in the second start of his career against our favorite horse therapist. Post parade.
I'm using him defensively.
Coming up, here is the one. Here is Have At It. Andy made the case for the Son of Kitten's Joy, trained by Christophe Clement.
My hope in liking him is he improved second time off a layoff for a bar that's been going very well lately.
Here's the son of Scat Daddy we're going to see next here. Zap Daddy. Kendrick Carmouche on board for Mike Maker.
Zap Daddy's going to have to improve. I think his last race was more a function of field bunching, but he's run well enough that he has an outside chance.
Lanes and Racing will send out Warchest, who we just talked about, the son of Warfront for Shug McGahee, and there he is, 10-1 on the board.
Yeah, you're getting a good price on this son of Warfront, 10-1, and should be coming late. Look for him coming down the lane. I would think with Manuel Franco aboard, looking for some pace up front.
And here's the Irish Invader for Todd Pletcher making his state's debut, Pillar Mountain.
The total guess, he obviously has plenty of turf pedigree. You just don't know what to expect from him.
Short price on a horse who you think is going to be very far back early if he ran anything like he did in his debut.
Yeah, he was 12 out of 12 and circled that field in hand, and he was green, so maybe there is some improvement, which could be scary.
The man behind the man, Jorge Abreu and Irad Ortiz Jr.
He's run well in both of his starts, and he could be a forwardly placed factor in this race.
And the 10, the horse these guys think is the one to beat, 5-2 right now on Morrison. He's trained by Joe Sharp. Luis Saez is aboard.
Yeah, breeder here. Golden Goose Enterprise, the New York bred. Since they put blinkers on the son of the factor, completely changed him around.
That is your field. We're now just 4 minutes to post here in this first leg of the late pick 4 sequence. We've been talking about Warchest a little bit, and there is the son of international super sire, Warfront, who has sired 8 champions, 7 millionaires, including European 2-year-old champion Colt U.S. Navy flag.
That's it.
Well, he's got
Not
pedigree.
bad.
I mean, he's got this horse has a $500,000 for that pedigree. Almost seems cheap, to be honest with you. And the question is, when is he going to show it? And with Shug McGahee, sometimes it takes a while for him to come around, but he'll deliver if the horse is the goods.
Meanwhile, the 7-horse, the man behind the man, trained by Jorge Abreu. He's got this one coming up. He likely has the favorite Ilios Milos in the next race as well. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
Greg, thank you. Yes, here with Jorge. And the man behind the man, Jorge, came off of a gate-to-wire win at Keeneland last time and ran in a pretty key field. Do you go back to the tactics that you had first time out, or do you think he learned enough that he can rate this time as well?
I think after the last race, he learned that he could just rate a little bit. I won't want to see him on the lead unless he has an easy lead.
Right.
But if he has somebody that he has to go and fight with, I won't want to see him on the lead. I would like to see him rate and finish, lane second or third in the mid-pack.
Next race, though, you had another debut winner in Ilios Milos last time out, a horse that just came from the clouds and very big, good-looking horse as well. Did he surprise you in that debut?
Not really. That horse is training pretty well in Palmetto, and then in Saratoga I gave him a couple of races, and he breeds pretty decent.
Now, because he is such a big horse that kind of likes to come from behind, do you think he is that closing sprinter, or will he be able to stretch out in time?
I think he could stretch out in time. I mean, I would have liked to run him like a mile, a mile race, so this is the race that makes most sense. Because I would like to run him in Saratoga and maybe an allowance race to turn, and then see where we go from there.
Well, that would be exciting as well. So best of luck here with both your runners, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right, Greg.
Could be a big afternoon for Jorge Abreu. We shall see. Sending again out the 7-horse, the man behind the man in this race, and then Ilios Milos in the next race, who is 8-5 morning line. That's a dirt sprint. This will look, though, at Pillar Mountain. So here's the horse from Dundalk. Just that one start on synthetic. Now he comes to Todd Pletcher. They put him on turf, son of Kodiak, out of a Galileo mare.
I don't know if Team Valor, who owns him, and Team Valor obviously owners of Animal Kingdom, had this horse in Europe a lot, because they do race a lot of horses in Europe. In fact, they have 2 horses coming here for our Stars and Stripes Festival that raced in Europe. I don't know. They're a sharp outfit. They must have felt he needed Lasix, because he does get Lasix, and that's one of the reasons Europeans often come here.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point. You just don't know. They've had the horse up at Saratoga. They've tried him on the dirt. Then they put him on the training track, the turf, to get him over that. And obviously he worked well enough to warrant a start here and get Castellano aboard. The worry with these horses is they always struggle with the gate first time they're here, and then they got to play a little bit of catch-up. But you never know. Listen, you got Todd Pletcher and Team Valor, like Andy says. You got good connections.
Do you remember Todd Pletcher having horses for Team Valor in the past? I don't. Of course, Graham Motion has him in this country and other trainers. I don't. I could be wrong, and he probably has another horse for him, but I don't remember him having a Team Valor horse.
Maggie Wolfendale just talked with the trainer of the 7 horse. With more on the man behind the man, let's go back to her.
Thanks, Greg. And actually, to answer Andy's question, I'm pretty sure they have. I think it was a dirt horse a couple years ago, and I can't remember his name, but he was this dark bay with a white face. Anyway, I digress. To number 7, the man behind the man, who really, to me, was the pick of the paddock. He was actually a little bit more settled this time around, too, which I appreciate. As we were talking to Jorge, he said he's kind of taught him and hope that he's learned to kind of sit behind horses, and he might sit that kind of sweet trip behind the speed of, let's say, Morrison and whoever else wants to go. So I think the man behind the man is a horse that's developing into a nice one. Greg?
6-1, and the pick of the paddock from Maggie Wolfendale, and a horse who could, as Andy mentioned earlier, be a thorn in the side of the 10-horse Morrison on the front end.
And Todd Pletcher has that horse for Team Valor. He had Pluck, who was a good horse a couple of years ago in turf, and he's had one that's won over this winter as well.
So what do you think? Outside post here for Morrison. We know how this turf course shapes up. Almost a turn immediately here. Post 7 probably not going to be a big issue for him.
Well, with that smaller field, his speed, he can clear. It depends really how aggressive the 7 is.
Yep, the 7's the key. Or if somebody else wants to change their style, 1 through 5.
That'll happen.
Good look right there of how quickly that turn does come up on a mile and mile and an eighth, I should say, here on the inner turf course. So not a long run there until you have to start making decisions there, and you have speed. It can be put to great advantage.
They go very fast right away, and then they slow it up quickly.
We're set for the start of the late pick forward. Mission Office, last to first in his debut for Chad Brown, the 6 horse. Can he do it again? Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing for the call. Here's Larry Colmus.
And here's the man behind the man moving into the starting gate under Iran Ortiz Jr. Morrison will be the last one. 6-5 on Admission Office as Morrison steps forward, and they're all in line. They're off. Have at it. Started very well from the inside and goes out to the early lead with Morrison on the far outside. These 2 out to the front. Morrison's going to grab the lead and will scamper off here to lead by 2. Have at it is running in second. The man behind the man is third to the outside. And then it's Zap Daddy running in fourth along the rail. 3 lengths ahead of War Chest. After that comes Admission Office, and the trailer is Pillar Mountain. Onto the backstretch, led by Morrison, who leads Have at it by a length and a half. The man behind the man is third, 23.57 the opening quarter mile. Then Zap Daddy on the inside. War Chest, 5th right now, 5.5. Now 6 lengths off the lead. Admission Office is 9 lengths behind. The trailer is Pillar Mountain. Up the backstretch they go. Morrison continues to make the pace. Now it's a 2-length lead on Have at it, who sits second up the backstretch. And then it's the man behind the man, third on the outside. Zap Daddy follows in fourth. 47.44 was the half. War Chest 7 lengths behind at this stage. And then it's Admission Office and Pillar Mountain. It is Morrison on top, racing for the far turn. Still 2 lengths on top of Have at it. The man behind the man is third on the outside. Zap Daddy coming under pressure. War Chest is next. Admission Office given his cue now. He's still about 5.5 lengths off the lead. Pillar Mountain's going to circle up on the far outside. They take close order here. Morrison has lost the lead, dropped out of contention. Have At It turns for home in front. The man behind the man, Warchest, is there. Morrison is now fourth on the inside. A lot of work to do for the favorite Admission Office. Still 5 lengths behind and a furlong to get there. Have At It, the leader, 2.5 lengths. Admission Office is closing on the outside with a rush, and Warchest is there too. Here comes Admission Office trying to run down Have At It, but Have At It's gonna hold on. 3/4 of a length over Admission Office. Warchest was third, Zep Daddy fourth in 146.26.
Have At It gets the job done. Admission Office ran out of room here. Flavien Prat, Christophe Clement, Robert Evans, your winning connections.
Flavien Prat made a very important move. When the 7-horse, the man behind the man, made that premature move, it forced his hand. But Flavien said, I got to go. He went, and he had the horse under him, Paul.
Yeah, I keep trying to tell everybody this guy can flat out ride. It's not a ride or change, nothing to do with Irad Ortiz Jr. This guy is the premier rider besides Mike Smith over there in California, and he got the jump. The 6 had too much to do and gets the job done here. The son of Kitten's Joy, and Clement stays hot. Again, 5-1 here.
Yeah, no, listen, I mean, I think the 6 actually ran fine in here. You know, Admissions Office, some people would be disappointed and say he's 3-2. He should have won this race. I know the pace looks quick, but is it really fast compared to the final time? The inner turf course is much firmer right now than the Widener course, and that wasn't a particularly fast pace. I think Admission Office ran well, and I think Warchest ran well as well, finishing third.
No, Admission Office ran good, and he was actually a little bit more professional today. He was leaning in last time today. He made a nice run, but he was just never getting to the one.
Have At It at 5-1. Kicks off the late pick 4. We'll have the prices when we come back, and we'll set up race 7 as well. When we return, we'll also talk Stars and Stripes Festival. Mendelssohn, 18.5 length winner of the UAE Derby. His Kentucky Derby was a disaster. But Aidan O'Brien says if he can run back to what he did in Dubai, it is game over for the rest of the field.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NyraBets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Nightcap switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. Phoenix has won the Travers over American Flag. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it as the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Back on Belmont Park Live, and it's Have At It. Second start of his 3-year-old campaign. He is in the winner's circle for trainer Christophe Clement.
I don't love Flavien Prat's aggressiveness. I think that's really paid off in the wins that he's had, Paul.
No, he's a good rider. Listen, he got in the Phil D'Amato barn in California, and it was all over after that. And then he started getting into the Bob Baffer barn. As soon as he gets into there, then it's really all over. But
He's pretty good, Bob Baffer.
Yeah,
right?
Congratulations to his son of Kitten's Joy. Have a Not For Love mare, giving Mr. P a little bit of love. Acronism, Mr. Evans always breeds beautiful horses, and Have It All gets Have At It, excuse me, 2 for 5 lifetime.
Let's go downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale, standing by with a winning trainer.
And Have At It, Christoph. It looked as though second off the layoff, he was just really primed and ready. Was he training as well to indicate that he would get the win here?
Yeah, a little bit disappointing when he went first time here. A little bit rusty, took him a while to get going. Trained much better, looked well today, got a very good trip with Flavien Prat, and we're delighted.
Yeah, blowing up as usual on the phone. Is this the owner?
Probably Mr. Evans. I will call back like in a minute.
Thank you, Mr. Evans, by the way. Christoph is busy with us for a second here. But Flavien Prat, as you said, a guy that's coming in from California and riding here with success. How did you get him on this horse?
Well, we knew he was going to be there because of the Belmont Derby and the Belmont Oaks, so he just worked out nicely. You know, some of the guys that we usually use were not available for the race, so everything is good.
What can you say about him as a young rider?
He's very talented. He's done great in California. He listens. He's got good horsemanship. And, you know, when they win, it's always good.
That is true. They always look good then. And black type a little bit later. What can we expect from him?
Same story. I thought he was disappointing last time out. He's trained better. He looks well. The ground is not too firm. You know, they really watered on Monday and Tuesday. The ground is firm but not hard. And I think it makes a big difference for some horses. And black type should be one of them.
Christoph, congratulations here and best of luck in the 8th.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Greg?
Well, very impressive performance and big-time improvement here in his second start of his 3-year-old campaign.
Yeah, the Clermont barn is having an extremely good meeting here. The horses have been running very well at Belmont.
All right, so Have At It starts off this late pick 4 with a victory. We'll set up the 7th momentarily. We're going to look ahead, though, to the weekend coming up. Tremendous weekend of action here at Belmont Park. In fact, on Saturday, we're going to be on from 6 to 7. And have a couple of sensational races earlier on in the day. We're going to see the return of Mendelssohn. He did this in the UAE Derby, dominating performance that would land him in the Kentucky Derby where things did not go so well.
You know, it's funny. This is the smallest purse of the big purse races in all of them. But I think in a lot of ways it's one of the most fascinating races because you have to really be curious to see what Mendelssohn can do under less adverse circumstances.
Yeah, listen, only 7 horses signed on. You're going to find out how good he is come this weekend. Listen, obviously the talent's there. They paid $3 million for him. He showed it in the UAE Derby. He didn't get to show it in the Kentucky Derby, but we've seen horses not show it in the Kentucky Derby. Remember a horse named Thunder Snow, and then he came back to win the Dubai World Classic. So great horses do have bad days at Kentucky Derby.
This is a tough field. I don't want to give it this is only a thing. You've got Noble Indy, who's a serious player, getting back to a distance he can handle. You've got an up-and-comer as well inside of him for trainer Graham Motion. And you got the horse on the outside getting back to his best distance.
It's a big race for him, though. This is really to see if he is going to move on, if there's going to be a chance for him to get to the Breeders' Cup Classic, have a chance to take on Justify. We shall see. Aidan O'Brien admitted, look, the Derby was a learning experience for his horse and for him, really, because Mendelssohn didn't handle the crowd, didn't handle standing in that gate, didn't get out quickly, and he had all kinds of issues with that mud flying in his face as well.
Oh, this was ridiculous. I mean, listen, I understand, and neither Paul and I were going to bet him the Kentucky Derby, but one of the shames when it pours on any big race is it negatively affects horses. And even if you didn't like them, you want to see horses run under fair circumstances. So he gets the rain, he gets bounced around by Magnum Moon, who's all over him the first part. And, you know, his rider, Ryan Moore, tried to get him out of trouble, so he had to use him too early, but he also did the right thing. He realized, I got nothing with over a half mile left to go, so the most important thing to do is to protect the horse. And that's what Ryan did. And now Saturday, beautiful weather, perfect circumstances. Is he as good as a UAE Derby? I doubt it. That was very favorable circumstances, but he's certainly a lot better than this.
No, he is. He's a lot better than this. You could tell his natural speed after even all that jostling at the beginning that he almost got within 3 or 4 lengths of the front end. So he wants to be towards the front end. So if he breaks sharply, look for him to be, I would think, quick early.
Here is Aidan O'Brien, assistant TJ Comerford, on how he's been adjusting to life here at Belmont Park.
We shipped in a couple of days ago, so he Tuesday, so he shipped in well. You know, it's very hot here, but we've got plenty of fans on him and that, and he's eating up every night and doesn't seem to bother him. Yeah, all 4 of them travelled well. You know, they're all in good shape. They all got here. They all actually look really well. They were out on the track this morning, and they're looking $1 million. I think that this track will suit him a lot better. Him and Seahenge. I mean, Seahenge ran really good in Churchill, and I know Mendelssohn got into bit of bother at the start and that, but I suppose those things happen. But the way he done it in Dubai, if you can come somewhere maybe even 15 lengths less than that, he'd go close.
This race a little bit like the Redemption Tour, horses who were in the Triple Crown. Noble Indy had a rough go of things as well on a couple of legs. He was 17th in the Derby, dead last in the Belmont Stakes. Now he will come back in this race as well.
Well, you know, you could say it's really the start of the second season for the 3-year-olds, and you can look at even last year where Practical Joke won this race, and he went on to run very well and win our Grade 1 in 2 starts later.
Yeah, and listen, Noble Indy 3 for 6 lifetime. His last 2 races, listen, he's lost the Kentucky Derby and the Belmont by a combined 96 1/4 lengths. You do what you want to do with that horse. I get it. And then the Belmont, he was not even a factor. He was not supposed to be used at all. Or what happened? The blinkers are going back on suddenly. Well, I don't dismiss the horse at all.
Well, I don't think you can dismiss a horse that ran as well as he did the last time he was in a reasonable race. The last time he was in a race he could win was Louisiana Derby. He got involved in the wicked pace where every other horse that was close to the pace that day is finishing now down in New Orleans. And all the horses that did well, including the very talented Noble Lone Sailor, finished behind him. He re-rallied in there. The real Noble Indy's a very good horse.
We'll see if the real Noble Indy shows up on the weekend. We're all very excited to see. It's going to be a fascinating renewal of the Dwyer. Meanwhile, the Belmont Sprint Championship, short field, but a lot of big names in here, including Whitmore, 2-1 on the morning line, who just missed in the Grade 2 True North back on June the 8th at Belmont.
I think one question with him is whether or not his closing kick is better going 6 to 6.5 furlongs than it is in the 7 furlongs, Paul, of Saturday's race.
You make a good point. I think the other part with him, I think the bigger the field, the somewhat better. Although this was a 6-horse field and he loses by a neck, and Imperial Hint just, I thought this was a great ride to get Imperial Hint to sort of see Whitmore. He was never really going to go by till later there. The thing about that, he needs Limousine Liberal to go fast up front, but as Limousine Liberal's gotten older, he's been able to rate a little bit. He used to be like a runoff type horse. He now can pass horses, Andy.
I think Limousine Liberal's the horse to beat in this race. He's
by far.
Overall a better horse, I think, and he has more speed than Whitmore. They're both talented horses. I think he's best on a wet track, and he's obviously not going to get that Saturday.
True.
And while he's never won in New York, he was second to Run Happy with a very good effort in the King's Bishop as a 3-year-old, and he had a major excuse being against a gold rail when he ran the Vanderbilt last year. This is Limousine Liberal's race to lose.
And then the other horse, obviously the wild card horse, is going to be Shaft of Light in there for Jorge Navarro, who's put up great numbers, and you just don't know what you're going to get coming here to Belmont.
No love for favorable outcome?
Oh, that horse
can
win.
One of my favorite horses, and you just dismissed him out of hand.
No.
I'm very upset here,
Yeah, it's more than just a 2-horse race.
No, it's not.
Very upsetting moment for me.
The thing that you got is you have the horse in there called Louisville, the 5, that does bring some speed that could make it a race that could break down late.
As can I Love Lulu, who's the 3-horse. I agree. There should be some pace in here.
Belmont Sprint Championship, part of a loaded card on the Stars and Stripes Festival on Saturday here in New York. Again, we're going to be on from 6 to 7, a little bit later start time for us coming up on Saturday. Race 7, 15 minutes to post. We're going to have a Paddock report in the post parade when we return. Ilios Milos, dead last to first in his debut, circling that field wide around the turn. And now he's got to deal with winners for Jorge Abreu. We'll talk about this race when we come back.
Eclipse champion Blaine notched over $4.3 million in earnings, including this historic victory over Zenyatta. Now he's making a name for himself as an internationally successful stallion. Recent top runners include multiple graded stakes winner Fault and French Classic winner Senga. In the ring, his yearlings have sold up to $350,000. Among the top sires of his crop by lifetime graded stakes horses, his 2018 stud fee offers outstanding value. Blaine, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live, getting the turf course ready for some more action to come. We're going to be back on the turf in race 8. But right now, we're on the main track, sprinting 6.5 furlongs, and New York Hero, that 2-horse, is our 8-5 favorite. We're going to get a paddock report right now from Maggie Wolfendale. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Bayern for $25,000.
Greg, thank you. And we will take a look at the horse coming in off of a layoff. That's number 2, New York Hero. Now, he's only had one opportunity to sprint on the main track over a fast surface. Now, you could say that he is probably better going a bit longer than this, because he did have that blowout win in breaking his maiden over the 1-turn mile. But physically, I can see where he should be effective, though, at this kind of distance. He does look fantastic here. He comes back looking much the same as what he did last year, but even a little bigger. I mean, he was a good-looking 2-year-old, but he's kind of filled out that frame. He's hung a little more muscle mass on it, and he just comes back nicely on the bridle. He looks fit. He looks ready to go as far as mind and body are concerned. But the horse who has recency is also coming in off of a win, breaking his maiden. That's number 4, Elios Milos here. As you heard me talking to Jorge Abreu, and that he's such a big horse that ultimately probably going longer is ideal. But he's proven that he can be effective at these sprint distances. But I'm looking at pretty much the same exact horse. It's not as if a race has rattled him at all. He's still got his head down. He's still very, very laid back. So if things play out in his favor, I can foresee him just running the same kind of race that he did first time out here, Greg. We'll see if Elios Milos can go back-to-back here.
It's going to be fascinating to see. His debut was something to behold, and we're going to show it to you in a moment. You can bet all these races. Again, a reminder, go to NyraBets.com. $200 new members sign-up bonus. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage of bet any track, anytime, anywhere, including Belmont Park. And this race coming up, we're 9 minutes to post. There is Elios Milos, the son of Dublin, for Jorge Abreu. Jose Ortiz was aboard for that debut. He'll be back on board today.
It's funny. He's actually the dirt equivalent of admission office.
Yeah, and at this point, he's in the race. He was 20 lengths behind this group earlier.
This was a supersonic pace that completely fell apart. Now, listen, I'm not knocking him. He ran well. But similar to admission office, it was his first start. He got a great setup, and he got the job done. Now he's getting in a race similar to last race that doesn't figure to have a lot of pace on paper, and it's a completely different scenario. And I think that's one of the reasons, while he may end up favored, he's a little lukewarm on the board.
Well, he's lukewarm because of that. You're right. You make a good point. And he was 10-1 first time out. It's the same scenario. You make a great point about admission office. Admission office was 13-1 first time out, and then we all didn't go to the wedding. We went to the funeral in the last race, and the horse was 9-5 or 6-5. Yeah,
I went to the wedding. I caught the bouquet.
Yeah. So now, what are you going to do with the 4 in here? 10-1. Now, what are you going to get? 4-1. He's dead on the board right now.
He's favored in multi-race bets, to be fair.
Yeah. So he'll go down. New York Hero and the 1 are dangerous because they possess the speed in here. I mean, the 1, O'Shea, can you see in the 2? I would think they're going to, and the 3, but the 1 could show some speed in here.
Oh, I agree. They're all potential speeds, and the 1 may come blasting, though. I'm not sure how fast he is. But forgetting about that, isn't the question, guys, with New York Hero and for everybody, what's his identity? Is he a sprinter? Does he want to go a mile? Do we know who he is?
Good question. I mean, this sloppy
broke
race
his maiden, at a mile,
at
right?
a mile. But here's the thing. He won by a pole.
Ran well here at 6 furlongs and then the inner.
Yeah, he did. He ran well. The race before that was confusing because he was 2-5 and he didn't get the job done. You make a good point, Andy. Does he want to come from behind? Does he show speed?
He could be the speed in here. I don't really know the answer, but I'll tell you one thing about him. He's a good horse. I just don't know what is he a square peg in a wrong hole?
Yeah, that's the other part. I mean,
a round hole, right?
Yeah, round hole. I think that's it. Yeah, and you see there is Irad Ortiz. He's just chilling there.
I think that there's a chance he's the most talented horse in the race. A chance, and it could be Elios Milos as well. There are other horses in here, and same for the 6, by the way, Inalienable Rights. I just don't know what his identity is. Linda Rice seems to be trying to find it.
That's the other thing about Inalienable Rights. Blinkers are coming off a horse that's already slow in a paceless race. So the 6, to me, I get that this horse has got a lot of talent and is running some bigger races, but
there he is. Yeah, he makes the equipment change today. Blinkers off. He showed a lot of talent as a 2-year-old. I think that comeback race on the turf, you completely put a line through that. Maybe he just completely hates the turf. He needed the race anyway. We could see a very different horse today.
We could. And I think he has a very good chance. And he's a square price, and I used him. One thing I don't like about him, he started off like he was really good, right? He ran some fast figures, and he sort of gradually tailed off as he went on. Is he going to be able to get back to his good races? I mean, he was running figures that could win this race in the beginning of his 2-year-old year. If he improves the 3-year-old and could run back to those races, he's going to be very tough.
Tiny bit like Syndergaard. You know, Syndergaard had progressed at 2 and really has not progressed. Now the 4, Ilios Milos, listen, 10-1 like we said last time, now down to 7-2, Greg, and makes a good appearance. But how far back? You don't know. He might show more speed today.
He could, certainly. Yeah, he did not get out all that quickly in the
No, he'll
debut,
be closer
but start number 2,
because the
sure.
pace will be less hot. The question is whether or not he can be effective under those circumstances. And, you know, it's like you said, it's just missing the wedding and going to the funeral. It's a tough situation. Right. And saw it with admission office.
He's a projection play. We don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah, listen, there's no way anybody leaves them responsibly off of a multi-race sequence.
That's true.
But I think he's a horse, especially considering he likely will be the favorite, that could be vulnerable.
Post-parade coming up here. And again, we talked about pace in this race. O'Shea, can you see the 1? Showed pace last time out and got that maiden score. Beat a horse named Flip by 6 lengths. Flip would have been the favorite in our nightcap. That horse scratched.
That was a slow pace.
State bred 30 maiden claiming event it was. But actually, not only did Flip come out of that race and win, the 5th and 6th place finishers both came out of that race also and won.
And it's Jason Service, right? Who's hotter than his trainer, Jason Service?
47% at the meet. There's Sam the Bugler, called a post.
Yeah, Jason Service is not only 47% at the meet here, he's 50% at the meet at Monmouth as well. So he's having a pretty good year.
And that means that he's overcoming Frank Miramati.
Here's O'Shea. Can you see? The son of Curlin, 4-1 right now.
Shouldn't it be O'City Field? Can you see?
Oh, nice.
We'll see if he can move on. His last race was fast.
New York hero, Irad Ortiz Jr. for Linda Rice.
It should be Cespedes. Where are you at? New York hero. Listen, got the chance, lost a 2-5, 2 back.
Proletariat, Kendrick Carmouche aboard for Bruce Brown.
He's got the talent to win here, but he's just a horse that seems happier getting a lesser share.
Ilios Milos warming up all by his lonesome here with Jose Ortiz back aboard.
The talented son of Dublin. Gotta love a horse that breaks away from the pony like that immediately. 7-2, and Jorge Abreu trying to make a name for himself, winning races here.
Inalienable Rights was very good as a 2-year-old. This will be the second start of his 3-year-old campaign.
I tell you what, his first 3 races, even his first race was monstrous, and he ran good in the funny side. He gets back to that 2-year-old form. He can compete here.
I love Jackson on the outside for Mike Maselli. Dylan Davis rides.
He would have to improve off his last race, an outsider.
Everybody in this race between 8-5 or 6-1 on the board. We're 3 minutes to post. Let's head downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale for more.
Thanks, Greg. And I actually got to catch up with trainer Linda Rice with number 2, New York Hero. And she actually asked me, she said, Maggie, what were you saying that he's only done once? And I said that he only got to sprint on a fast track once. And she said about his win, he kind of ended up in that mile race by accident, and that there was something that happened with the equine dentist, and he was supposed to be in a sprint maiden special weight. She had to scratch, and so she has opted to go in the mile. It was definitely her second choice. And she said to me that she actually thinks he is more effective of a sprinting type because he does have some tactical speed. We'll see what he does here today, but like I said, he really looks good. He's getting a nice warm-up as well beneath Irad Ortiz. Moving on to number 1, O'Shea, Can You See? Now, Jason Service seems as though he could turn the farm pony into Secretariat at this point in time, but O'Shea, Can You See? He looked like a dominant force in his last race and winning that maiden 30 when you kind of sized him up against the rest of his competition in that going. Today, not the case. He's dealing with different animals. Like Andy said, he ran fast last time, and maybe that makes him a player here, but at least not from my perspective, other than the connections just working some magic. As we'll take a look at number 7, I Love Jackson. He's a horse that has taken a little bit to get fit. He's kind of that heavier, stuffier horse. He does look a bit more solid and defined, having his 1 race back on June 14th under his belt. I still think he definitely has to improve, but I think he'll improve a little bit here to maybe grab a piece of this as far as exotics. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thanks. Yeah, I love Jackson. He faced Desert last time out. Desert's been a pretty decent horse here with not a lot of starts in his career. I believe 3 wins already for him.
He's entered on the turf, actually, on Sunday, which is kind of odd. Desert. I feel like in watching that race, the whole field was kind of collapsing at the end, and it sort of brought the 7-horse I Love Jackson into the race, and I think it made his finish look more effective than it was. That's my opinion, at least.
Can improve, though. It was his first start since November, just the 3rd start of his career overall. As we take a look at Proletariat, and as Maggie was giving us those comments, Paula Duca had a sneaky little comment he made to me about Proletariat. You got a rider who's the most aggressive rider on the grounds.
Well, he's going to try to steal this race.
No, I'm going to tell you something about this horse. You think that, and he has speed, and he could. He's a funny horse. He's got a very short burst, and Kendrick knows this horse. And if you watch his race, particularly his win back in February, Kendrick rides him like it's a horse that he doesn't want to be on the lead, believe it or not. He rides him like he's afraid that if he uses him too soon, he's not going to finish at the end. And so that's why I don't think he'll get an aggressive ride. I hear you, and I could see it happening.
The only way he can win, though.
But it's not the way Kendrick has ridden him repeatedly. So
he's tried time and time again trying to do that, and it hasn't worked.
Worked once. Maybe you're right. Listen, you guys could be right. He has the speed to be up front. I'm not going to argue that. It just seems to me that Kendrick, maybe he's riding to instructions. He could also be being under instructions, and maybe you're right. I would send him the front, but it just feels to me like he's better. He's shown to be a little better with the target, except he usually hangs with that one too.
The 4, 6, and 7 to his outside are all turtles. So you have the 1 and 2. Who's going to commit? And I know Kendrick is. If he breaks sharply, he's going to go right to the rail and try to pin the 1 and the 2. And go, but we'll see what happens. He's 0 for 6 at Belmont, and that's why you're getting 9 to 1. He should not be 9 to 1 in this field because he can win the race.
Irad Ortiz Jr., meanwhile, on board, a horse has become the 8 to 5 favorite in here. New York Hero. Andy, you said maybe this is just the best horse in the race. He's coming out of a stakes race in which he hit the board. He ran 3rd in just a 5-horse field, however.
Well, but the speed held on, and those were okay horses. I like the 2. He's my top choice here, but I'm not going to be surprised.
Price is short, though.
Yeah, I'm not going to be surprised if Milos. I don't like Ilios Milos. I'll be surprised if he wins. I won't be surprised if the 6-horse Inalienable Rights wins.
Will the 4-horse make that sweeping move from last to first? There he is, loading into the gate. His debut was sensational. Now he's got to try and do it against better company. Race 7 set to go. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York racing for the call. Here's Larry Colmus.
1 left to load here. I Love Jackson will take up position in the outside stall under Dylan Davis. Right now 8 to 5 on New York Hero. And they are all in line, ready for the start. They're off. Fast beginning for O'Shakin UC from the inside. New York Hero goes right with this front runner. These 2 out to the front. Ilios Milos close up to the pace, running in 3rd. Proletariat 4th on the inside. 3 lengths ahead of Inalienable Rights and I Love Jackson to the outside. Up the backstretch, and it's O'Shakin UC, the leader. New York Hero on the outside, pressing through a 22.57 quarter. And up close to the pace 2 are Proletariat and Ilios Milos on the far outside. 2.5 to I Love Jackson. Inalienable Rights just 4.5 lengths off the lead and on the rail around the far turn. O'Shakin UC, New York Hero, Ilios Milos on the outside. Proletariat drafting in behind the leading trio. I Love Jackson sent up on the outside 5th. And last of them all is Inalienable Rights. Ilios Milos is coming wide on the outside of O'Shakin UC. 45.6 for the half. O'Shakin UC shakes away from Ilios Milos, who's now 3/4 of a length behind. On the inside is Proletariat trying to get involved from 3rd. It is O'Shakin UC, now 1.5 lengths in front. Ilios Milos left behind, along with Proletariat. O'Shakin UC finishes fast and wins by daylight here. Ilios Milos was 2nd, Proletariat was 3rd. I Love Jackson 4th in 1:16.42.
O'Shea, can you see for Shady Boy Stable? Jason Service. The incredible meet continues. And how do we overlook this one?
It was an honest enough pace. It's not like he was crawling. I wouldn't say they were flying. It looked like Ilios Milos was going to gobble him up around the turn, and he just kept on running like the Energizer Buddy, Paul.
Yeah, and it's Jason Service is putting on a show. Listen, this is what I thought. I thought somebody would go to the front end and win this race. Lucky enough to have the 1 on top. I thought the 3 would go. Didn't. Andy was right. these service horses are not stopping. I haven't seen one get past in the lane. Now 15 for 31. Like I said, at Monmouth Park, he's like 16 for 32. It's insane. I want to say the last 70 horses this man has sent out, almost 30 some odd or 35 of them have won. That's insane.
And we're still trying to beat him.
I used him in my pick 4. I didn't like him. A smart friend of mine did.
7-2 on O'Shea. Can you see 1-4-3-7 finish? Jose Lezcano for the Red Hot Trainer. Jason Service. Our feature race still to come. We'll be back with prices from the 7th right after this.
And they're off in New York. The premier state bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses, restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish first, second, or third at New York tracks. We have the quality.
Audible, no doubt about it.
You have the opportunity. New York breds. Get with the program. The best program.
Back on Belmont Park Live, our show brought to you in part each and every day by the champion sprinter Run Happy. Here he is on the farm in Paris, Kentucky at Claiborne. Part of their outstanding stallion roster. Undefeated sprinting in his career. Won the Breeders' Cup Sprint in track record time at Keeneland. And his offspring coming soon to a racetrack near you.
Can't wait.
It's going to be fun to see him. Sensational sprinter.
We got to go to Claiborne, visit Claiborne in October, take a team trip. What do you think?
I'm down for that, absolutely. O'Shea, can you see? Getting the job done in race 7. Jason Service Barn just on a ridiculous run right now. Care to expand on that, Paul LaDuca?
Yeah, I was looking at some stats at Jason Service. He's 22 now for 50 on the dirt this year. Off the claim.
So he's underperforming. He's what he's doing now. He's only winning at 44%, Paul. What are you getting at?
He's claimed 5 horses this year. 4 wins in a second. I mean, it's just insane what he's done.
These are a good payoff.
Naira Bet's late pick 5 follow along. This is going to be great today. We had a 3-5 favorite defeated in the opening leg. New Jersey John gets the money there. Have at it. $13.20, in which admission office was how short? 3-2?
3-2, yeah. He was third or fourth choice somewhere
This
there.
is going to pay if you're live.
And then you saw like the third or fourth choice winning here.
No favorites yet. Still 2 legs to go. And I thought that last race, maybe anybody could win it.
This is, if you're alive in this pick 5, you are looking at a very solid payoff at the least. Or pick 6, to be honest.
A tremendous wager. You got to get involved. The Naira Bet's late pick 5. The only way to play it if you do not live in the state of New York is through Naira Bet's. Of course, on Saturdays, minimum $100,000 single ticket payout. Looking forward to that this weekend. Race 8 are next. That's our feature race. 1 mile on the turf. Allowance optional claiming race in black type. Christophe Clement. We saw him win earlier on the card. Can he get another one here with a very talented 7-year-old now who's already won 4 times on the turf at Belmont?
I think one thing that may benefit him is having a target. He has speed, but he's a horse that runs a little better sitting second or third. And with a Biding Star in this field, who's a bit of a price, but has a lot of speed, I thought he could sit behind that one.
We'll talk more about race 8 when we come back. We're going to take a break. La Signare, she sprung the upset in the Grade 3 Wonder again in just her 2nd start here in the States for trainer Brian Lynch. Can she go back-to-back and re-up in the Belmont Oaks? We'll talk about that when we come back.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NyraBets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NyraBets, racing's best play.
Turning for home, and Grizzle has taken the lead here. It is turning for home, and Grizzle has taken the lead here. It is now Grizzle in front. No Money Honey runs at her on the outside. Sister Charlie is in the center of the course. Still work to do for her. She's 3 lengths behind. Then Uni dashing through on the inside, and Daddy's Little Darling. New Money Honey has taken the lead here. Sister Charlie is second on the outside as they come down to the wire. The 2 of them will decide it, and it is going to be New Money Honey.
Chad Brown, 1, 2, 3 in last year's rendition of what we should probably just call the Chad Brown Invitational. He's won 5 of the last 6 runnings of the Belmont Oaks. It's been amazing, including 2012, 2013, when it was known as the Garden City Stakes. And what do you think this year coming up? We're going to see a new face?
He's got 2 live horses in there, and I think Significant Form's going to be tough to beat. Chad Brown has a very strong hand in both of those turf races, Greg.
Well, La Signare got the better of Significant Form in the Grade 3 Wonder again. As we take a look at the field, here's a look at that race. Back on June the 7th, she got to the front. She kept on going in their 2nd state starts of her career.
I honestly think that the horses that ran 1-2 in this race, La Signare and Significant Form, are the 2 horses to beat in this race. That was a very strong race, and these are both extremely talented fillies.
We talked about this before. I think the rider decided to make it a 2-horse race between him and the Gray, and La Signore just outfinished him towards the end.
2 wins from 4 career starts. She did get a pretty slow pace to be in the front end for.
She did. I mean, it's funny. You have to sort of look at some of the fractions didn't make a lot of sense. She did. But you know what? It's not like there's a ton of speed in here. Now, I think Significant Form, if she were my horse, I'd be aggressive with her. I think she's going to be in front of La Signare in that race.
Or at least make her go a little bit quicker.
No, I think she'll be in front of her.
Let's hear from Brian Lynch on how she's doing after that win and the Wonder again.
You know, she's a very good workhorse. She can be a little bit overly aggressive and, you know, going the 1.25 miles, we just want to see a nice, relaxed work. And I thought Joelle worked it perfectly. She worked a nice 49 and change, and she had a really impressive gallop out. If I was I was happy enough with the work, but I was thrilled with the gallop out. I mean, there's always concern when you're trying to stretch one out that far the first time, but she seems to have great stamina, and the key to it is if she relaxes, I'm sure she'll get the trip. You know, I'm sure they're not going to let us get away with them sort of tactics again. And you know, look, she come from Offord in the first race. I think she'll settle. I think she'll, and that's the key to getting her to get the 1.25 miles is to get her to settle, and I'm confident she will.
I love to see two really good horses. They run 1-2, and now they're going to go right back at each other. And now it's going to be obviously a different distance, different circumstances, but it'd be fun to see this rematch.
No, I agree. It's a terrific field. There's some very nice fillies in here besides those two, but they're the horses to beat.
Yeah, you forget about Toinette in here for Flavian Pratt, who beat Neil Drysdale, who beat La Signore 2 back. So, and Aiden O'Brien has a turf runner in there as well. So a lot of other stuff going on in that field.
Toinette's got to get the 1.25 miles.
Yeah, that's the thing with
I
her.
don't trust her getting the 1.25 miles.
The Sun River on the bottom side. When's the last time you've seen Sun River? Although he ran a decent Belmont.
Outstanding weekend of racing coming up. Again, we're going to have a late start time on Saturday. Races earlier on there on NBC. And then we take over at 6 o'clock Eastern time on Saturday. As we get back to action here on this Thursday afternoon, an interesting story here in the 8th race. And Get Jets for trainer Tony Dutrow. Much of the winter, early spring, Tony Dutrow thought this horse was just never going to run another race. Admitted he thought he'd never see him in the entries again. Had a minor leg injury in February. And then he tried to get him to work in the morning. The horse just did not want to do it. He thought about trying to find him a home. He's by Scat Daddy, who obviously is in major demand right now with what Justify did. But then all of a sudden, he kind of came back around.
I hope he runs well. I'm a fan of Tony's. He does a great job. He's a terrific guy. You see he's 3 for 6, a small sample there. In life, taking short price on horses that were going to be retired to come back, I don't think it's a great gamble.
It's not a great gamble. It isn't. Listen, I'm with you. I'm rooting for this horse. I will show you the Ashley T. Cole right now. It was a good race, and he was game as can be. There's a good horse called Benny the Bull that did the same thing. He went in the stud. It didn't work out. He came back for Rick Dutrow. Wasn't the same horse. We've seen a lot of fillies that have come back after they've had foals. Sometimes they're just not the same horse, but if he comes back to this, oh, he's definitely in the mix. But again...
No, he's the horse to beat if he comes
doesn't
back.
even need to come back to his best.
No, well, no. Let's wait a second now. Night Prowler and Black Type are okay now here, the 5 and the 1. He's going to have to run that race to beat those two, but... I'm with Andy a little bit. It's tough to play him after he's been on the farm
Well,
for a
here's
while.
what his trainer says, Tony Dutrow. He's right there, as good as he has been. He's just worried about fitness levels.
Yeah, I'm going to judge by what I've seen in the past because trainers like their horses.
Well, what you've seen in the past performances, he wins this race if he's close to that, right?
I understand,
Yeah, he does.
but I can't bet a horse at a short price that 2 months ago was being retired because he couldn't get him to train. Sorry. I hope he does well.
So
I really do.
Meanwhile, another great story in this race, the old man here, Carafa. How long has he been around? This 9-year-old proved last time out in the Kingston he still has fight in him. He hit the board against a very good field. He was beat by Offering Plan and Wrapped.
Well, he should have been second. I mean, watch him. You see him with those white blinkers, second to last there in the middle, trying to find a seam. Now, Dylan Davis did a very good job of saving ground, but man, did this horse get in traffic, and he easily could have been second here. The old boy can still run. He doesn't win. He hasn't won in quite a while, but man, is he good when he shows up.
You know, Andy, before this race, you and I were wondering, it was his career over. Then I remember after the race, both of us said, you know, we're so happy that Carafa ran good because he did have a good 2016. Like Andy said, he doesn't like to win, but he still collected $100,000 as an 8-year-old. He's 9 now, and you saw right there, he tries his heart out.
He's 9-1 on the board for the 9-year-old.
Yeah.
He's a fun horse. We've been talking about him for a long, long time. Dylan Davis, there he is. He's going to be back aboard Carafa this afternoon. Guided him to that third-place finish in the Kingston last start. We'll be back with more right after this.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NyraBets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NyraBets, racing's best play.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warfront. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 mile at Keeneland, then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. His runners include stakes winner Stardoza, along with a growing list of talented young runners. At public auction, his yearlings have sold up to $200,000. Data Link, standing at Claiborne Park.
Welcome back to Belmont Park Live here as we are vastly approaching today's feature race. Is the 8th, going a mile on the turf. This optional allowance, and it's littered with horses who have won stakes races, and none other than number 8 in here, Get Jets, who, yes, is coming back off of that layoff after having thought that he was going to stud, going to the stallion shed. And coming back here, he does look like a horse who, as Tony has said, possibly needs a race because he is that bigger type of horse. You know, he's still intact, so a lot of times that weight is a little bit harder to get off of one. But I can't fault him otherwise. It's not as if he's gotten hot or washy or nervous or anything like that. Anything that you think about with a horse who has reportedly been refusing to train prior to and around that layoff. And he just has a good mindset about him as well. So yes, I do think the fitness is a concern here, but I also think he could run well enough. Moving on to another horse coming in off of a layoff. That's number 3, Night Prowler here for trainer Chad Brown. He's another one that it's kind of been a while since he's won a race. It's been almost 2 years. And to me, just looks as though a race might be beneficial. A little bit soft around the edges, and I don't typically say that about a Chad Brown horse, and albeit he is a gelding, but looking at him, he just looks as though he just needs to tuck up just a bit. I like his energy. He's showing that once that saddle got on, he definitely bulked himself up and got his game face on. But again, fitness is a bit of a question, and it was surely a question for number 7 in here last time, Giant Run. I mean, he hadn't run in quite a while, to be fair, for Tom Albatrani, but he made a great impression on me. And yes, I know that race does not look that good on paper, and it was not getting back to what he had shown in the past years and past efforts, but wow, talk about a race moving a horse up, shaking off that ring rust. He kind of got really amped up as well for his first time back at the races. Today, he's a bit more calm. Again, he was a bit of a pain to get the tack on, but that has always been him. And he's just kind of chilled out a little bit more, and he's so much more fit looking here overall. Like I said, I don't know if we'll see a win effort from him, but certainly one that I think will improve here, Greg.
Paddock Report brought to you by Hillendale Farm, standing Curlin for $150,000. Thank you, Maggie. So some interesting points on Giant Run, the 7-horse, 11-1 on the board. And that last out effort certainly needed a race. It had been over a year since we'd last seen him.
This is a horse that could be a major factor in a race like this if he could ever re-find his old form.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a big question.
No, you're right. Heart to Heart you see in there, Catch a Glimpse. There's a lot of different horses, champion horses. The Catch a Glimpse at that time was really going well. There you're looking at Black Type, the 5. We'll take a look at the last race. They faced off with each other with Night Prowler, and Black Type got the best of Night Prowler on this day. He sometimes can cause his own trouble, can Black Type, but the way Christophe Clement is going right now, Andy, he's the horse to beat.
He is, but it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of horses who can win this race.
Yes.
I mean, I picked him. I didn't think he'd be the 5-2 favorite, to be honest with you, in here, and he's a very slight favorite over the 8 in multi-race bets. I think he's supposed to get the right trip in this race, and I think he's a miler. But I tell you, this is a pivotal race for him because his form has not been great. He needs to run well today.
No, you make a good point. We talk about the one being a 9-year-old. Black Type only ran twice last year as a 6-year-old. I mean, as a 7-year-old so far this year. So is he losing it a little bit, you know?
I mean, it certainly took a backward step. Granted, it was a tough field he faced in the Ford Marcy. Want to remind everyone of the Los Alamitos only runs a couple more weeks. NyraBets members, they can earn a 10% winner's bonus on all exactas on Thursdays during the meet. California racing continues after the Belmont card concludes tonight. So head to nyrabets.com, cash in on that exacta bonus for a few more hours. Here is the old man, the 9-year-old Carafa. Just was third in a stakes race the last time we saw him.
You always have to root for old pros like Carafa, and maybe he can find the winner's circle here. He's certainly good enough.
3-horse is Night Prowler, son of Giants Causeway, trained by Chad Brown. He's never been off the board on the turf at Belmont.
Tough spot to come back off a layoff, but his good races put him in the mix.
He was right there with Black Type. Couple starts back. Here's the 4, Abiding Star. Pace with Joe Bravo aboard for Ned Allard.
This horse taking a lot of money, and I would think people think this is the horse that's maybe you take this field gate to wire.
Black Type, here he is, the 7-year-old. Christophe Clement trainee with Joel Rosario.
He'll try to stalk the speed of Abiding Star and finish. That's what he does best.
Tapitation. Son of Tappet for trainer Ralph Nix has Manny Franco aboard.
You know, this horse is 0 for 5 the last 2 years, but look at the record at Belmont. Maybe this Gray Gelding can get back to that record. 3 wins out of the 5 here.
Yeah, in the money in 6 of 7. Giant Run, second start off the long layoff for trainer Tom Albertrani.
Obviously must improve off that effort, but he ran to a killer field that day, and he's got back races that make him a player at a big price.
And he was going to be retired, sent off to stud, but showed new life in the morning, and here he is for his comeback. Get Jets.
Yeah, Anthony Dutrow and Johnny V will team up. All 5 races on the Belmont Turf Course have been run well. 3 wins in 2 seconds.
Last time we saw him, third, just beating a length behind a horse who would come back and win the Grade 1 Manhattan on Belmont Stakes Day. Get Jets, the 8-horse, at 5-2 on the board, making his 5-year-old return. We'll have the 8th right after this break.
Bayern turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome is third. Shared Belief laboring back there in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The 3 of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern, Bayern holds on.
Belmont Park Live continues here on MSG Plus as we are seeing horses warming up for today's 8th race, and a interesting crew of contenders as we have a few New York breds who have shown that they can be pretty effective against open company, and none other than the millionaire 9-year-old in Carafa, who is coming off of a 3rd place effort in the Kingston last time and encountered a bit of traffic. I thought it was just so nice and relieving to see Carafa, who came in off of a eased performance, first off the bench there, show up with his typical Carafa, grind it out to the very end and totally put up a fight. And for me, Carafa seems to get along with jockey Dylan Davis. I mean, this is the only the 2nd time that they're pairing up, but Dylan seems to automatically understand him, and he gives him this big warm-up, kind of breaks away immediately from the pony. Carafa just melts nicely into his hands, and you can't fault the old man whatsoever. He looks fantastic. He matches up so nice with the quote-unquote young guns, even though only a couple years younger than him. As we'll check in with number 4, Abiding Star. If you're looking for the speed, you would have to think that Joe Bravo and Abiding Star are going to provide just that. Now, just some interesting notes on Abiding Star. He does wear that extension blinker. He wears the extended cage bit with a burr on the side, and it seems to work. He's worn it in all of his efforts going back to last year here in New York, and 6 furlongs was obviously too short for him. I shouldn't say too short. He actually ran well, but just getting that lead for him, I think, instills a bit of confidence in this horse. So we'll see what he does. He's getting at 7-2 right now, Greg.
He's definitely dangerous in this spot. This will be a 2nd start back of now his 5-year-old campaign. He had back-to-back wins where he won gate to wire. Look who was aboard for those wins. Joe Bravo. The negative, he won for 25,000. He won for 40,000. This is a much more difficult field.
I don't see it personally. A friend of mine who has a great opinion likes this horse. I still don't see it. He did get the turf prep going 6 furlongs last time, but to compare who he's running against today, the horses he was beating, when he beat Slim Shady wasn't exactly the same Slim Shady we saw last time.
He was about 4 years removed from that horse, right?
Yeah. The worry is, like, again, like, are they going to let the 4 walk around the racetrack? Does Joel Rosario and Black Type just sit off the hip of the 4? Or does Giant Run sit off the hip of the 4? You know,
even if he's going relatively slowly, these horses are supposed to be able to outfinish him. I don't see it. Now, listen, if he was 15-1 or 8-1 or 10-1, so we want to bet him. 7-2?
No, not for me. Not for me. Black Type's the best horse in the race, or at least for me at that price.
But there's at least 4 horses that are faster than him in this race.
I agree.
Night Prowler, Black Type, Carafa, Get Jets if he's anywhere close to
Giant
what he used to be. But
Tapitation.
He gets loose on the lead.
That's the thing. The people are looking at the 4 will be on the lead.
I just think I think horses like Black Type are going to be close enough to him that it shouldn't matter. And even Night Prowler could be a little closer. Listen, there's a different opinions in every race. Somebody has money on every single winner, and I'm certainly wrong all the time, so I won't be shocked if I'm wrong here, but I didn't see it.
Well, Get Jets, the 8-horse, making his return. Tony Dutrow never thought he'd see him in the entries again. He is back. Can he make it happen in the afternoon? Let's go upstairs to the voice of New York Racing, Larry Colmus, and find out.
Horses are in the gate. They're off. And it is Giant Run who's out for the lead with Abiding Star. Black Type is away running in 3rd between those 2. Night Prowler is 4th. Tapitation is 5th on the outside. Then Carafa and the trailer Get Jets onto the backstretch. Abiding Star on top, the leader by 2. And then it's Giant Run in 2nd. Black Type is 3rd. Tapitation on the outside. Night Prowler has the rail. Carafa in behind them, 6.5 lengths off the lead. And Get Jets well out of contention early after a 23.62 quarter. So they're heading up the backstretch with Abiding Star in front by 2. On the inside, Black Type runs along just inside of Giant Run, head and head, 2nd and 3rd, Tapitation 4th. And then it's Night Prowler, followed by Carafa, who's 6 lengths behind at this stage, and Get Jets at the back. So they make their way through a 46.59 half mile. Abiding Star leads 3/4 of a length. Giant Run goes up on the outside. Black Type has the rail. The 3 of them right together. Tapitation behind them in 4th. Night Prowler put up pressure. So too Carafa, Get Jets, lags behind as they come toward the top of the stretch. It is Abiding Star and Black Type slips through on the inside, and the two of them turn for home together, stride for stride. Black Type and Abiding Star. Tapitation the gray trying to come and get them. Giant Run is fourth on the outside. Abiding Star and Black Type. Tapitation continues to gain ground on their outside. Black Type, Abiding Star. Tapitation not quite getting to them now. Then Carafa and Night Prowler. It is Black Type to win it. Tight second there. Tapitation may have got to Abiding Star in a photo for second. Carafa was fourth in 1:33.22.
Black Type gets the job done here. Fifth win on this Belmont turf course under Joel Rosario. Pretty good run here from Abiding Star.
It was, no question about it. He ran for the money he took, and I can't knock anybody who bet on that horse. Having said that, Black Type is an old pro, and it's good to see an old pro get it done, and a pro like Joel Rosario. Joel wanted to be able to angle out. His move, he wished he could have sat behind and angled out. They run better outside. But he realized that's not going to happen. So once the 4 came a little off the fence, Paul, Joel said, I'm in. And it worked out.
Yeah, it did. It worked out. Bravo did a great job with the 4. He did whatever he could on the front end. You could tell that Black Type had a ton of horse. And it's sad here because you know what? The 4 did a lot of heavy lifting. I think got tagged here for second by the gray. Tapitation.
Well, give him credit, too. Tapitation, he came alive in a slow pace.
Yeah, we talked about Tapitation at 7. You know, he's got back races to go to way back when. Maybe he gets back in form here.
Let's touch a little bit on Jets, who he was running over some horses as the race was over. But, you know, for a horse that was almost retired and coming back, it's not reasonable to expect he's going to run anywhere close to his best race. So maybe he did enough running to say, with a little more running, he could get back to some good form.
Give him another race, see. But, early on, he lost contact with that field. But hopefully we can see better from him next time out. It's Black Type, though, in the 8th here. Gets the job done. Jump Sucker Stable. Christophe Clement wins again on our show. And Joel Rosario prices, and we'll set up the nightcap next.
This proven son of Giants Causeway has sired 4 millionaires, including Claiborne Farm stallion Lee. Recent top runners include 4-time graded stakes winner Miss Sky Warrior, 3-time graded stakes winner Sharp Samurai, multiple stakes winner Bal Harbor, and Dubai Group 3 winner Shamal Nibras. Last year, his 2-year-olds sold up to $540,000, while his yearlings fetched up to a whopping $575,000. First Samurai, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live, Black Type, 10th win of the 7-year-old's career. Christophe Clement with a couple of wins this afternoon.
Congratulations to the son. I'm going to try it. I think it's Dunkirk, even though it's different spelling. Out of the Anaba mare, Fiore, Jump Sucker Stable. Congratulations to them and Joel Rosario. What a ride here. And Christophe Clement, if he does another interview, he's going to end up just stealing our microphone because it seems like he's every day.
Isn't Anabar half to a very, very good horse? Like, not Golden Coat, one of those horses, one of those killers.
Could be.
Yeah.
Wins as the favorite, goes off at 5-2. Let's go downstairs to Maggie.
And here, Joel Rosario. He's always making me laugh. Gosh, but that's always good to talk to you. But Black Type, you've hooked up for wins in the past, and he's a horse that it seemed as though he's a little bit hesitant to go through the hole, but you rode him and he responded.
Yeah, he's just a kind of horse. He has one pace, you know. He tried very hard. It's just like you say, sometimes he get there and he just kind of stay a little bit and then he don't want to go through, you know, to the hole and stuff like that. But, you know, like in the turn, I have to make my way out and they look like I have to move from there. And then he responded everything after that, you know. I have to get up to him a little bit. He's kind of just want to stay there for a second, but he got the job done.
Well done by you as well. And also, we were just watching you actually aboard La Signare in her last work heading into the Belmont Oaks. And Brian Lynch was saying that he was trying to teach her to kind of relax given the 1.25 mile stretch out. For you, how did she feel underneath you? And do you feel as though she'll respond to rating?
Yeah, she worked great. And he just wanted to know that just have a little workout, you know, finish a little bit in the last part. Then she looks good. So, yeah, we're looking for the big race.
She seemed as though she was really responsive to your hands and she wasn't pulling against you too much.
No, she was very relaxed, very nice, and then she went there and then just, she was easy to do that with her today.
It was easy to watch too, Joel. Congratulations here with Black Type as well.
Thank you.
All right. Greg.
Last 3 wins for Black Type. Joel Rosario has been aboard. Horse actually goes off at 2-1 as your winner in that 8th race. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Tappert, last year's Belmont Stakes winner, back in action for the 2nd start of his 4-year-old campaign. And Catholic Boy, can he follow up his Pennine Ridge upset over Analyze It with a repeat victory? We'll be back.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NairaBets.com.
It is Irish War Cry, and on the outside. It is Irish War Cry, and on the outside, Tappert. Tappert has taken the
lead. Taprit and Irish Warcry come down to the line together. It is Taprit and Jose Ortiz in the Belmont Stakes. They have defeated Irish Warcry. Patch was third. Gormley was fourth in 2 minutes, 30.02 seconds. His brother won it last year. He did it today, Jose Ortiz.
Yeah, his first win in the Triple Crown sequence after a year earlier, his brother breaking through the very same race. And Taprit now making his second start of his 4-year-old campaign in the Suburban on Saturday.
It's a good field. It really is. It's a wide open field. You have some names that you're obviously familiar with. War Story, Taprit, Dr. Door for Bob Baffert's going to have a couple in here with Opportunity, and Zanotti's even got a shot here.
What about Diversify? You've got the winners of the last 2 Jockey Club Gold Cups.
As for Taprit, just coming off an excellent work, Todd Pletcher says he's become a better, more impressive breeze horse in the morning. We know he loves that ball to play with in the barn. What do you make of his chances in the Suburban?
I picked him.
Okay.
I liked his return. I liked his return. I thought he was fresh. He was too close to the pace, and it's exactly what he needed to go into a race because he wants more distance.
Yeah, he's definitely a horse you don't want to play tetherball with, but he's got a ton of talent, and he likes his racetrack, obviously, with the Belmont win. And I'm with Danny. That was a solid effort last time out.
Meanwhile, Opportunity proved that he likes Belmont a little bit as well for Bob Baffert, the 7-year-old, getting the win in the Grade 2 Brooklyn.
He's been terrific. He's 2 for 2 here, winning the Gold Cup, the Grade 1, and the Grade 2 Brooklyn as well. I'm going to tell you, I think he's the lesser of the 2 Bob Baffert horses. I mean, Dr. Door, the horse he's bringing in, is off 2 terrific performances, but you can't discount this pro.
No, you can't. It's pretty amazing what Bob has done with Opportunity at age 7. He's now a sort of a distance horse. He's turned into a horse that wants to go 1.5 miles in these classic distances. I don't know if 1.25 miles might be a little bit too short, but at age 7, I don't put anything past Bob Baffert, but I have a hard time thinking Opportunity is going to win back-to-back races. So to me, I thought there's others you can go to, but you can't count out Bob. You got to use the horse.
We've talked a lot about the Belmont Derby. We keep talking about Analyze It and Catholic Boy. There's some other very talented runners in this field, including my boy Jack, going to be making the trip out here. 6-1 on the morning line. Kent Desormo will ride.
My boy Paul keeps harping on how much money Mendelssohn took in the Derby, yet somehow this horse being one of the favorites has eluded you. He's run well on the turf before, and he seems to be an improved horse, but wouldn't he be a big upsetter in here? He's only 6-1 because everybody bets on him.
Yeah, but he did actually run a good race in the Derby. But here's the Pennine Ridge, and he's getting back on the turf, and this is the most confusing race we've seen on Belmont Live all year. Listen, Analyzing That goes by Catholic Boy. The race is over, right? How many times have you watched a horse race and the 4 wins? Not only does the 3 come back, the 3 comes back and wins.
This costs any money, a horse who's never lost on the front end is being talked about as a superstar in the making for Chad Brown, and somehow Catholic Boy re-rallies, swings outside, and gets by him.
It is odd, and I think you have to ask the question whether or not he's going to get the 1.25 miles, and it's a very fair question to ask. I am not going to get down on the next greatest superstar because of 1 loss. And I think they go to the front with him. I don't think Catholic Boy is going to be as aggressive in here. I think a lot of people are going to say, Analyze It's not going to get the distance. And I think just like Oscar Performance, he's going to go wire to wire.
We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see him how he comes back out of that race. Now, here's my boy Jack. And this was him schooling earlier this afternoon.
Listen, I don't put anything by the Desormo brothers. They're so sharp. And when they ran this horse in the Lexington, and then they went into the Kentucky Derby, listen, he got stone dead stopped. And you're trying to tell me that his 5th place finish was not better than Mendelssohn's 19th place finish?
If he wins this race, they'll have to get smelling salts.
No, I'm not saying I'm going to pick him in this race, but all I'm saying is they're not taking a shot just to be an also run. The Desormos are sharp. I get it. He's going to have to really step up, but I've seen these guys do wonders with horses that they don't pay a lot of money for. And like my boy Jack, only a $20,000 purchase has already gotten $700,000 in the bank.
Shouldn't everyone be talking more about Hawkish with what he's done so far?
Well, I think he's a terrific racehorse. You know, he won this race, the Penn Mile, last time while being ranked, making a big premature 4-wide move. He was good in that race, but he's got to answer the 1.25 miles question as well. And as much as anyone, he and Analyze It.
You make a good point there. This horse could be any kind, Wolfie. You know, when they had to geld him because he's so big, and I think a lot of people don't understand when you geld a horse, either it's get problems in the morning or the horse is putting on too much weight. you know, and then they've given him a little bit of time, but he was dominant in the Penn Mile last time. He could be a handful if he can handle the distance.
Belmont Derby, sensational field, a lot of interesting storylines. I'm with you. I'm a little interested to see how my boy Jack runs, getting back on the grass. Stars and Stripes schedule, it is loaded. Mendelssohn back for the Dwyer Belmont Sprint Championship. Talked about a couple of big-time names in there, including Limousine Liberal, Belmont Oaks. Can Chad Brown continue his reign in that race? Just talked about the Suburban, and of course the Belmont Derby you will see on our show from 6 to 7 with Belmont Park Live on Saturday.
And I think it's nice for NBC to warm it up for us to do the last 2 races. I really appreciate
Very nice of them,
guys,
yeah, it's
Randy
good for
and
us.
Jerry,
Yeah, we'll finish it with a bang.
500,000 point hit or split on winning exactas, plus a 2 million point bonus. All stakes at Belmont on Saturday. All the details at NYRA.com, excuse me. We still have the Nightcap to come. We will talk about race 9 when we return. And again, if you are alive in the Naira Bets late pick 5, it's looking to be a sensational return.
Yes, it is.
I thought a wide open race. Flipped, obviously, the 3 was going to be probably the favorite, maybe the second choice, but with that horse gone, it has opened up. Rogue Patriot, the 2, maybe the horse to beat, but a lot of ways to go in this spot. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more on Belmont Park Live right after this.
Switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. He has won the Travers over American Flag. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Ellis. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
And they're off in New York. The premier state-bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish first, second, or third at New York tracks. We have the quality.
Audible, no doubt about it.
You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program. The best program.
We are back on Belmont Park Live. We still have the Nightcap to come. And we'll get you prices as soon as we can from that 8th race. We still do not have them yet. Some technical difficulties out here, so we'll get those to you coming up shortly. There's a look at Vickers Legend. Gary Contessa sending out a couple of horses in this race. Obviously a huge scratch with 3 flipped coming out. The 5 is gone as well. But if Rogue Patriot, the 2, does not win this race, it almost seems like anybody could.
Really? I thought it was Rogue Patriot who's the horse to beat. No argument there. But I thought Wushu Warrior was very dangerous in this race. I think his last 2 spots, he's been in tough circumstances in his last 2 races. Inside, blah, blah, blah. I like 2 and 7.
I thought this horse interesting. I mean, Vickers Legend, dropping for 40 to face 20.
Okay.
Before that, he ran on a sloppy racetrack. Before that, he was on turf. You could throw that race out. The only race he was on the grass. It seemed like he's faced a little bit better than some of these others have.
My problem is he's got one good dry dirt start. His one win was on a sloppy racetrack. His other good race was on a sloppy racetrack. He's got one good dry racetrack race. He ran second.
The trouble, too, was not all that bad.
Here's the thing.
Last start.
No, it wasn't. But here's the thing. You don't have to be much in here.
Yeah, that's the thing, right?
I mean, no, I don't like the Vickers Legend, but I'm not knocking horses that will go for big prices. I just didn't see it, but, you know, that's what makes racing go around. I mean, Rogue Patriot's horse to beat. The problem with Rogue Patriot is 11 seconds and thirds and 14 starts, and some short prices. This horse lost at 3-5 down at Gulfstream. This horse lost at 4-5 down at Gulfstream. So this horse has been in fields probably weaker than this one and hasn't been able to seal the deal.
It's
that
a
I don't
major
like.
red flag.
Yeah.
No, and the other part about this is you got Joseph Safi, good trainer. Gary Golo, good trainer. Safi went back in to get this horse thinking, okay, still ran second. Victor Barboza, tremendous trainer in Florida. David Nunn, underrated trainer over there at Monmouth. So many trainers have taken this horse, yet nobody can get the horse to the winner's circle. Nothing against Peter Walder, but at 8-5 on the morning line, you got to try to beat.
Well, I think, you know, I'm alive in the pick 4. I got the 2 and 7.
You have
the 2 is the horse to beat.
Yeah.
But I think you want to have at least backup. But I'm like everybody else. I have the 2 favorites. Big
There's
deal.
Lake Party. Here's the other Gary Contessa runner. Mike Luzzy will be aboard this afternoon. He's ran for 32,000 on the turf last start. So the last time on dirt, sloppy racetrack. He just missed by a nose for non-winners at 2 lifetime. Last time on a fast main track, he was in over his head.
Yeah, that sloppy track, first of all, slop. He got a suicidal pace to close into, and that was very circumstantial. To me, he's dressed up by circumstance. He looks too slow on paper, to me.
Real quick, let's get your prices from back in race 8. And Black Type returning $6.70 for the win. Pick $340.
Yeah, there were adjusted odds in here. So the 5 Black Type ended up going off at 2-1. Tapitation went off at 26-1. So maybe Black Type went down maybe 50 cents. But if you had this exact, it went a little bit higher. So Tapitation runs second. Like we said, Jump Sucker Stable. Congratulations to them. This pick 3, $140. So you're on your way to get that nice little payoff in your pick 5.
Get signed up, play along, bet all the races we show you each and every day on Belmont Park Live. $200 new member sign-up bonus. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage of bet any track, anytime, anywhere. Go to NyraBets.com to get signed up. 4-5 on Rogue Patriot, and especially with the scratch of the 3 in here, deserving to be a short price. But again, as Andy said, 11 times in 14 tries, he's been second or third. Do you want to take a short price on a horse who has a penchant for not winning?
They're just the kind of horses you use protectively, but you just try to find somebody to beat them.
As you see, adjusted time, 24 minutes here now to race number 9, 24 minutes.
So that'd be about 6:15. You doing the math
Might
there,
be a little
Craig?
quicker than that, hopefully, because we want to get this race in.
Good luck.
And if we don't, though, we do have the Nyra Now app. We're taking a look at the 7, and here's Wushu Warrior. This maiden win from this horse, it was quite a show he put on.
We have some time, so why don't we show it?
It started horrible. Steadied. Is going to have to wind up taking back here.
And he's a speed horse.
And then things get really interesting. Looking at the 5
worse,
horse.
Right? He's down on the inside right now at about 4th or 5th. I think 5th right now.
5th now.
He runs this race, he is winning.
Let's watch what he does here in the stretch. 5 horse near the rail, Black Silks.
He's still shuffled back. He's getting further shuffled back at this point.
The 1's in his face right now. So now what ends up happening is he's going to move him too wide. Now the 1 starts to move, so now he's going to get a little bit of flow. And he's got to decide whether to swing wide or stay in that position. And he's continuing to stay in the position because the 1's at least moving him forward.
Paco is staying inside, right? He's there. He gets that room to come through, but it's never easy. And he wins a 4-horse photo, but still, he wants to get outside, right? He's trying to get outside, and you see the horse outside of him says, no, 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 no. And I like that when a rider keeps another guy in. He's riding him, and Paco says, okay, I'll go back inside. How does this horse win this race?
No, I don't know how. I remember this race. Paco decided to dive inside. I think the rider on the horse in the middle was pointing his horses at the other horses, and he's going to get the bob here at the end.
And did he deserve that bob? And
more incredible.
Amazing.
Right?
Paul remembers that race.
The
problem is
they were so bunched up. What do you do at that race? Was it a good race or a bad race?
Well, he's come out of it to run 2 more times. One of them, fine. It was on a sloppy racetrack. Maybe he could throw that one out.
Better horses. I mean, we've seen maybe a diamond. And last time out, he was chasing inside. That was a day you were better off being off the rail. And they were better horses. He finished 2.5 lengths behind the favorite. I like him today. I think he stalks Blinding Vision, and he wins.
All right, 5-2 right now. Second choice on the board. Send it downstairs now for a Paddock report with Maggie Wolfendale. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000. Maggie?
Greg, thank you. As we will check in with Wushu Warrior, a horse that I'm a fan of, pretty much because of that race that you guys just went through in its entirety, as he really fought on that day. Maybe he's a horse that likes getting in trouble, and that kind of propels him forward. But again, I like him here in the paddock, and as Andy was alluding to, he looks to have a more ideal kind of setup, the way the race looks to unfold as he's a bit more outside, and he looks fantastic here. Relative to this field, I like Wushu Warrior. Now, an interesting horse here is number 6, Blinded Vision, who does drop in for the 20, and I say that he's a little bit odd because going back to his race 3 starts ago when he broke his maiden, and I actually didn't talk about this, but he was freezing. They couldn't get him to move. He was doing it in the paddock and out on the racetrack, and then he goes and wins. I was really kind of flabbergasted by that. Physically, I couldn't fault him, but he was acting that way. Now, here in the paddock, he's quiet. Oh, look, he's trying to do it again. So I guess that's just in his kind of mentality or what have you. Physically, he looks great, and I like the fact that he's running a little bit cheaper than what he has been in the past. So we'll see what he does here. But I think the more strange this horse acts, the better he seems to run here, Greg.
Maggie, thanks. I like him. He could get the lead in here. I think he does get the lead. And in this field, there's no world beaters. If you're in front, maybe no one comes and gets him.
He's a bit faint-hearted, but there have been 3 dirt races today. 2 of them have been wire to wire by horses on the inside, and the other one, a long shot, battled back against a 1-5 shot on the inside. So there's an argument that inside speed is the way to go today, and that's where he's likely to be.
Should be in front, no doubt. 6-horse Blinded Vision at 5-2 on the board. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more, we hope, the Nightcap right after this.
This successful son of AP Indy has sired 6 millionaires, including 2017 Eclipse champion 3-year-old West Coast. A dominant winner of the Grade 1 Travers and Pennsylvania Derby, West Coast also placed in the Breeders' Cup Classic and was runner-up in the $16 million Pegasus World Cup. In the sales ring, juveniles by Flatter brought up to $600,000, and his yearlings sold up to $460,000. Flatter, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Make NyraBets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NyraBets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NyraBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Get a $200 new member sign-up bonus on NyraBets.com.
Back on Belmont Park Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. We are 17 minutes to post in the Nightcap coming up, and we are going to stick around and bring you this race, so keep it right here with us on Belmont Park Live. Let's take a look at the Belmont Showdown online contest. Saratoga Deb with a strong showing this afternoon with our Nightcap still to come in a commanding lead.
And our man Bombs Away Bob back on the leaderboard again. He has stamina.
Yeah, he does. 3rd time in the last week he's been on the leaderboard.
Great job by everybody getting in that top 10. You can play each and every day and hopefully see your name on that leaderboard by going to NYRA.com/showdown. This race tomorrow, the state dinner, Sunny Ridge, 8-5, Timeline, even money. We're going to take a look at Sunny Ridge. in action against Timeline. This was back on April the 20th. They'd finished second and third.
Behind a horse who has not run, I think, since for Brad Cox, who wired the field. I think they both needed a race coming off a layoff. They both ran fine. They're both very nice horses, and they're probably the two horses to beat in here.
The worry that I have with Sunny Ridge is that Jason Service is winning 50% in the last year, and this horse keeps running second. Could that be a little bit of a worry?
Well, you know, he's a horse he's had for a long time.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
a funny point.
But
you know,
Timeline's the horse to beat, obviously, yeah.
Well, he looks like the controlling speed,
Yeah.
and that gives him a huge advantage here. I think the long shot Giuseppe the Great's going to run well. I'm a fan of that horse, and I've seen State Dinner run. I believe he won the handicap triple back in 1979. I was here for that.
State Dinner? Who trained this State Dinner?
I think Elliot Birch, maybe. He was a C.V. Whitney horse.
Wow.
So he might have been Elliot Birch. I'm not sure. We could look it up. I'll look on NYRA.com. Find out. Very good horse.
Back to Timeline. Won the first 4 starts of his career, and then Chad Brown gets him back into the winner's circle back on June the 3rd when he went up against You're to Blame.
And he rated in this race.
Yes,
he showed a
he
new
did.
dimension, but he did rate himself into a perfect trip behind a fast pace. But he showed a new dimension. I'm not Timeline's biggest fan.
Tappert in here.
Yeah, but Tappert was off the layoff. I'm not Timeline's biggest fan. I don't think he's a horse that's shown he can step up against the best horses, but he delivers when he's against fields like this. And as a controlling speed, Paul, isn't he going to be very tough to beat?
Yeah, he should be tough to beat. He really should. I liked the way he ran last time. I really did. He showed me a different dimension, like you said, and he showed that he can win from off the pace, and maybe he's showing a little bit what they thought he was. And listen, Chad trains his horses to do that, and he was always a horse that was always on the bridle and very fast. And I think now that he's gotten him to settle, he could be a little bit scary. But I'm with you. He needs to move up against some of these.
Better
older
not settle in here.
Well,
Better
wouldn't
go
you
in
want to
here.
use? Yeah, wouldn't he want to use speed to his advantage here?
Yeah, if they don't go to the lead with him, it's insane. I mean,
That's
Yeah, there's
race.
no other speed in the race, yeah.
That is race 3 tomorrow, and Andy was talking about Giuseppe the Great. His Jim Dandy.
I think that he's run a number of
very
races
good.
that are good, actually. I thought he's run well before in the past, and I like Giuseppe the Great. Didn't he finish second last year in the Woody Stevens?
He finished second in the Jim Dandy, and I'm not sure where he finished in the Woody Stevens.
He was second. He was fourth in the Dwyer, second in the Jim Dandy.
He wasn't second. Oh, yeah, it's not on there. He's
No,
run
it's
that many
not.
times since then.
Thank you for that, though,
I
Andy.
believe he was second in the Jim Dan in the Woody Stevens.
So if you're a guy from New Jersey, you like the Mets, you're alive in this pick 5, right?
Is that what it is?
New
You have to be
Jersey
from
John?
Jersey and like the Mets.
Have at it. New Jersey John.
I was born in Jersey. I like the Mets, and I'm not alive in it, but I am
All right.
alive in the pick 4.
Black
Either,
Type,
right?
the only favorite
Should be
to
okay.
win in the sequence so far, so it's going to be sensational. And right now, 7-5 on the 2-horse, the logical favorite to be 20 times points on Los Alamitos early pick 4. You can earn 20 times the reward points every day of their meet. Local Live meet continues through next week, so visit NYRABets.com for details on how to earn more on California racing. As we look again at Wushu Warrior, Andy Serling likes this one. We showed you that maiden score. It was a bizarre run race, had all kinds of problems. You don't see maiden claiming runners overcome those types of issues that he did to come back and win. It was impressive, but again, since that time, again, maybe he's faced better, certainly. He's not shown that same type of ability in 2 subsequent starts.
Well, he's shown enough speed to at least keep the 6 company. Now, if you're looking for pick 5s, the 2 is the lowest you can get at 1,300, the 7, 1,700, and then the 6, 3,000. They're still darn good. You can get almost 7,000 to the 4 in here, Lake Party, and then you could take somebody on a party boat.
Rogue Patriot, the 2-horse. John Velasquez aboard for Peter Walder. 6-5 favorite on the board. We're going to have a post parade coming up when we return. Little bonus time here on MSG Plus to fit in this Nightcap. And we'll have it coming up for you right after this on a beautiful Thursday afternoon here in Belmont, New York. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track, Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include multiple graded stakes performer Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, and stakes winners He Hate Me and Sunset Ridge. In the ring, his yearlings have commanded prizes up to $220,000. Algorithms, standing at Claiborne Farm. His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live, bonus coverage here so we can get you this nightcap here on this Thursday afternoon. Greg Wolf, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling. We're going to visit again with Maggie Wolfendale here in a moment. That's Mike Luzzy. He's going to be on board Lake Party coming up for trainer Gary Contessa, one of two Gary Contessa has in this race ahead. And Lake Party, couple starts back, as Andy mentioned, closed into an extremely hot pace, beneficial trip that afternoon, but second just speed and nose. At least there's something in the way of form, but that was on an off track. And before that, you have the horse facing just a little bit better company, maybe.
He's a little faint-hearted, but maybe this track could help him. And you're right. He's had, listen, the horse who wins this race is not going to be horse of the year.
No, you're
taking
right.
that bold stand right now.
You have, you know, only a six-pack now, and you have the 1 and the 4 in here can come from off the pace. The 1's got a way bigger shot at winning the race. But you look back at the 1, he won on a sloppy racetrack at 20-1. You look at the 4, he won over a muddy racetrack, but he was 2-1. Most of the wins from some of these horses have been over sloppy racetracks. The 6, win over a sloppy racetrack. So when you look at the rest of the field, I know the 2 likes to lose, but a lot of these other horses like to lose too.
Yeah, the more you look at it, you keep coming back to Rogue Patriot, the 2-horse. John Velasquez will be aboard. Let's send it back down to the paddock with Maggie now.
And guys, we just got the Riders Up call here in the paddock, but I'm pleased to be joined by Peter Walter, who will send out Rogue Patriot in here. And Peter, first of all, I want to talk to you about having some horses here in New York. Is that the plan for the rest of the summer?
It was the plan, but I ended up getting, I bought a few babies in Ocala, and I just plan on staying home in Florida. I'd rather be a big fish in a little pond.
Well, we're going to miss you.
Yeah, I might pop in with 1 or 2, but, you know, I love Saratoga, and you know, I love it here, but it's just, it's expensive to be here, and the competition's tough, and I'm happy down at Gulfstream. It's my home, so.
Well, looking forward to the brief times we get to see you, but Rogue Patriot here, I'm sure a little bit of a frustrating horse for the fact that he doesn't love to win.
No, he's always a bridesmaid, never a bride. That's why I call him. So hopefully today Johnny could get him over the hump. Looks like there's one other speed horse in the 7 on the outside. So I just told him, do your thing and get there first. I don't care how you do it, just do it.
Always nice to have Johnny V on your horse.
Yeah, absolutely. We go way back, win a lot of races together. So I'll leave it in his capable hands.
Well, Peter, thanks for joining us, and best of luck here.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
All right, Greg.
Maggie, thanks. Well, John Velasquez, he was aboard last time out, back on June the 13th here at Belmont, distant third on that occasion. Look, he's never going to get probably a better field to try and beat and get that second win of his career than this group.
You could say that about a lot of horses in here, but you're correct, Greg.
I'm with you. He doesn't win here. Next start could be at Finger Lakes.
I'm kind of rooting for him because a friend of mine got disqualified earlier today. It was a very legitimate disqualification earlier today and would have been singled to pick 6 to the horse that came down. So I'm not deciding whether I want him to not be suffering after the race or I kind of want him to suffer.
So wait a second. He would be alive to the 2?
In the pick 6, yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That's how we are as horse players.
Yeah,
when
but
you get bounced out, the horse you would have been singled to
I feel bad for him. Actually, I'll be
It makes you feel a little better, though, doesn't it?
No,
you become an RA-er. I call him RA-ers. I root against her.
No, I'm just joking. I would like to have seen this person win. It's a good guy.
Post parade coming up. There's Sam the Bugler. Called post. We're going to see Vickers Legend first. And here is 1 of 2 for Gary Contessa. Junior Alvarado will be aboard, drops from 40,000.
I guess he's got some figures that give him a chance and a price.
Andy trying so hard to say something positive. Here's the 2 Rogue Patriot.
6 to 5 here. Son of two-step salsa. His best son, Dance with Faith, may him rest in peace.
6 is interesting because he's going to be in front and goes turf to dirt as well.
This one for Brand Jam Stables, who actually owned a little bit of Dance with Faith. Yeah, the horse to catch.
Wushu Warrior, we showed you all that trouble he had in that maiden win. Can he get the second win of his career?
Well, if he does, there will be a pick 6 carryover of 85,000+ into tomorrow's card.
Lake Party, we backtrack to the 4 here. Another Gary Contessa runner, Michael Uzzi aboard.
As you can imagine, a Son of Desert Party out of a Salt Lake mare, hence Lake Party.
And Backstretch George. I guess you could say he's lightly raced?
Yes, but we're trying to find out who Backstretch George is for 10 Strike Racing.
Would he please stand up?
Yeah.
The real Backstretch George, please stand up.
Wow.
We're trying to do an interview. Maybe he could come in.
A little Eminem from you right there, Andy.
That was nice.
Is that Eminem?
Please tell. You didn't even know you
didn't
were doing
even
Eminem?
know you were doing it.
No.
Wow, Andy's multi-talented.
Oh, really?
Andy Slim Shady.
No, I listen to the Grateful Dead 99% of the time.
That was tremendous. The finale from Belmont coming up next. Backstretch George, please stand up. Please stand up. We'll be back.
Eclipse champion Blaine notched over $4.3 million in earnings, including this historic victory over Zenyatta. Now he's making a name for himself as an internationally successful stallion. Recent top runners include multiple graded stakes winner Fault and French Classic winner Senga. In the ring, his yearlings have sold up to $350,000. Among the top sires of his crop by lifetime graded stakes horses, his 2018 stud fee offers outstanding value. Blaine, standing at Claiborne Farm.
This is right around the corner. 8 more race days at Belmont, and then we head upstate to Saratoga. Opening day on July 20th. We cannot wait. That's what the crowds are going to look like. Opening day, if you have not been, you got to try and get there. But if you can't get there, don't worry. We are there for you. We're going to have the entire meet covered.
Every day. Greatest place on earth, Saratoga. If you're a racing fan, and you can get to Saratoga. If you've never been, you must go. I don't think anyone's ever gone to Saratoga once and never come back.
You have one day to get stuff done, Tuesday. Other than that, you better be tuning in.
It is Disneyland for horse racing fans. Yep. This from Kieran McLaughlin. Deere just wanted to join in with the other trainees from my barn training yesterday at Saratoga. That's how lovely life is up at the spa.
Bad news for Kieran. The deer appears to be outrunning the horses in his barn, not boding well for the meet.
Sign that deer up, right?
There was a movie, remember Stripes, about the donkey or the zebra that ran against horses, maybe? The deer.
So Paul's seen Stripes.
Yes.
We've been on so long today that we finally got to the bottom of it.
How about we start a barn,
Stripes.
we get that
What's it
deer
called,
in
Stripes?
there.
I don't know what it was called.
All right, let's check back in with
track.
Maggie Wolfendale as we get set for a load here in the Nightcap. Maggie?
Paul, but still my heart, you've seen Racing Stripes. I'm just that much more of a fan of yours now. But getting to number 2, Rogue Patriot, a horse that, as Peter said himself, is a bit of a bridesmaid. And I think he is that way because he is that small horse that is easily intimidated. He's not that dominant presence here overall. But also a quick note on all of the horses here. They were in the paddock for a while. And truth be told, they all handled it very, very well. I couldn't be more happier with them as a group. And, you know, they handled just walking around the paddock in the right kind of way. So, Greg, that is always a good thing.
All right, Maggie, thank you for that. Getting close to a load here. Very interesting. I'm gonna wind up going with the speedster in here.
6, right?
6-horse
You're
blinded
saying
vision.
gate to wire. See you later, alligator,
Yes.
right out of the gate? Okay.
Andy?
You gonna root against me? I'm live in the pick 4, 2 and 7.
He's an RA against you right now.
He is a bad guy. I knew it. I sensed it all along.
Tell us again who you're with.
2 and 7.
Okay.
So you can eliminate them. 6 is the worst I'm worried about. I agree with you.
Yeah,
I don't like that horse, but he could wire the field.
And the 2 and the 6 are the 2 pick 6 horses that pay, right? Everything else carries over. So if Andy's 7 does get home,
85,000.
85 G's to tomorrow.
Twilight card. Later
Yeah,
lows.
don't forget 3 o'clock card. Yeah.
5 to 7. We're on the air.
Yeah, tomorrow we are on 5 to 7.
Supposed to 4 to 7 today.
Party at the Park, Twilight Racing. So an hour later.
Party at the Park's been a success.
Those are great. Love the late post.
Yeah, I do too.
Sleep later.
We get a lot of people out here, and you get a nice little concert usually afterwards.
Yep. And we're going to have great weather as well. So something to look forward to definitely tomorrow. And if you can't get out here, catch us.
Glad to see the horses are circling.
On MSG
Not
Plus.
in a hurry to get the gate.
Well, they're thinking
Why
they don't want you to get on the train too soon, Andy.
I got my ride. My driver's taking me this Sunday.
Got a great card coming up this weekend that we're looking forward to. And
yeah,
we're
Saturday.
lucky enough to have a couple of big-time races that are going to be on our show on Saturday night.
Yeah, no, great racing here this week. All kidding aside, tremendous day racing. And I was going through Sunday's card a little bit earlier. Great card on Sunday as well. We've got 2 stakes on our show on Sunday.
Yeah, Friday. You know, tomorrow's card. You know, we got a 12-horse field at the end of the card. We got some babies going. The late pick 4 and pick 5. There's a quantity of horses. It's a tough card tomorrow too.
Plenty of good racing left at Belmont.
Yeah.
People should come on out. I mean, we're going to Saratoga, but Belmont will be open through next week. And what's better in Belmont Park?
It's beautiful out. It is right. I tell you what, the green inside. I just want to take my driver.
Going to cool down. It's going to cool down starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. It's going
Supposed
to
to be
the
in the
committee's
70s
going
tomorrow,
away.
yeah.
So come on out and visit us at Belmont. Come say hi. Paul is signing autographs.
Yeah, anything.
Every day.
We can try and talk
Kissing
him into that
babies.
for a little bit. 4 to 5 right now on the 2 here. Rogue Patriots, heavy favorite to try and finally break through and get that second win of his career after 6 seconds, 5/3. Peter Walters said, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Today may be the day as we have a rider off there. I believe that's Junior Alvarado
Of course we
off
do.
of Vickers Legend.
I can't believe nobody's broken through the gate yet.
All right, we're all set. Here's Larry Colmus with the call. Here's the Nightcap from Belmont.
Ready for the start. They're off. Not a good start for Vickers Legend. It was a good beginning, though, for Blinded Vision and Wushu Warrior, who come out running on the lead from Backstretch George. And then it's Rogue Patriot, Lake Party, and Vickers Legend did not have a good start at all and has been left behind the field moving for the far turn. The leader is Blinded Vision. Wushu Warrior pressing the pace on the outside second. These two complete the first quarter mile in 22.41 seconds. They're 4.5 lengths ahead of Longshot Backstretch George on the turn. And then it's Lake Party, Rogue Patriots, a good 9 lengths behind right now. And a long way last is Vickers Legend. Around the far turn, the battle continues. Blinded Vision and Wushu Warrior, eye to eye, coming toward the top of the stretch here. And they're 8 lengths clear of Lake Party, who's taken third. Then Backstretch George on the outside, and Rogue Patriot, they're into the stretch. 45.1 was the half, and Wushu Warrior grabs the lead on the outside and is now in front from Blinded Vision. Lake Party is 5 lengths behind in third. Coming down to the 16th pole, and it is Wushu Warrior in the clear from Blinded Vision and Lake Party. Wushu Warrior and Manny Franco are going to win it by almost 2 lengths on the wire to Blinded Vision. Lake Party was third, and fourth is a photo that may have gone to Rogue Patriot alongside of Backstretch George in 110.63.
Wushu Warrior kept close early contact with Blinded Vision, did not let that one get away, and in the end rolls on right by for the victory. Manny Franco for Chris Engelhardt.
Yeah, he's finally at a spot where he could get it done, and he was able to run down Blinded Vision. The speeds ran 1-2, and the favorite, Rogue Patriot, a complete and total no-show.
Didn't show up.
No, did not show up one bit. Wow.
Pick 6 carryover, too, guys.
Distance. I mean, this horse ran almost 112 to 113 for the 6 furlongs. We get a pick 6 carryover, and a good job here by Andy calling this one for Wachtell Stable. We'll tell back to the start, because the one made a mess of it. Vickers Legend. Watch this. Lost their all chance and was just way behind in the beginning. And, you know, I get it. The 2 didn't run, but he didn't get off to the best of starts either, but he did run.
He was
We saw
dreadful.
Junior Alvarado, he was standing up in the gate before that, and his horse was unsettled, and then that happens. Lost all chance.
Jumped up at the start.
I don't know if it happens. It's unfortunate what happened in the one, but I just don't see that the outcome would have been any different. It looked like 7-6 for the 2 best horses in here by far.
Yep.
Place to be today. Out near the lead.
Yeah, that was. You're right.
3-1 Wushu Warrior, co-second choice on the board to close out this card. We will be back. Prices from the Nightcap, and we'll wrap up our show right after this. 7-6-4-2. Got a 14-1 shot in third here. We'll be back.
And they're off in New York. The premier state bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish first, second, or third at New York tracks. We have the quality. Audible, no doubt about it. You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program. The best program.
We're back at Belmont Park Live, wrapping up Thursday action. There's Big Sandy. Wushu Warrior, $8.30 for the win. Battled with Blinded Vision, then puts that one away late stretch.
Yeah, congratulations to his son, the Bluegrass Cat, out of the Smokin' Mel mare, Smokin' Sue, Wachtell Stable. The owners here, and they also bred this one. Adam did. New York bred. And look at that pick 6 comes back, 1,300 for 5. Yes, $171,000 carryover. And Andy,
boy.
that Naira late pick 5, not bad, 1,700. You didn't have to get to much.
No, and I'm trying to do the parlay very quickly. It's about 80, about 400, about 1,400, and about, so it's about 5,600 or so, and that was very good, actually, the payoff. Yeah, did much better in the parlay, about 30% higher in the parlay.
Belmont Showdown online contest, and Saratoga Deb closes it out. Well done. Gets the job done with the win. Saints, 100 times, second and third. And again, you're playing for real prizes, and you can do it each and every day without risking any of your own money. Naira.com Showdown is where you go to get involved in that contest each and every day. Hope you enjoyed our show. We are back tomorrow again, late start time, as we've been doing on Fridays. It's Party at the Park, Twilight Racing. We will see you 5 Eastern tomorrow on MSG+. Take care and have a good night, everyone.